Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today's reading is a special one. We're going to see what your life purpose may be, what you were born into this world for, why you chose this particular lifetime as well. And the way this one works, I really highly encourage you to choose as many piles as call to you in this particular reading, because every single one has been different. And every single one has had like some very specific aspect. And of course, we are born with multiple life purposes, not just one. I mean, there may be one that is very, one that is like your main purpose or one that is higher than the others. But I really do encourage you to pick as many piles as call to you in this one because they've all been very, very interesting. I've loved this reading and I hope you enjoy it as well. We have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Tarot of the Divine. Pile 2, we have the Lucid Dreams Tarot. Pile 3, we have the Modern Witch Tarot. Pile 4, we have the Prism Tarot. And pile 5, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot. So take a few deep breaths, tap into that higher self, bring in some light, bring in some good, like just go all the way back to the beautiful little star soul you were before you were born, and leave the heart and mind open just to see what comes through. And I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the Tarot of the Divine, then we're going to tap in to see what your life purpose is, or at least one of your life purposes. The way I meant this reading to go is that we're going to see what it is that you are meant to do within this lifetime. We could get messages from past or future self as well, depending on what is tapping in. But we're going to look into a life purpose of yours. We have multiple life purposes, so I do encourage you to look at other piles, especially if this one isn't resonating, or just in general. Oh, sorry, I left my perfume here. For some of you, it could be your life purpose to bring some sort of beauty into the world, whether that's through visual beauty, maybe what's the word? Olfactory, where you make the world smell beautiful, if that makes any sense. But let's go ahead and get your cards. We're going to use the oracles and then we're going to tap into the tarot to see what your purpose is. So for pile 1, we have Squirrel Girl. When the wilderness calls, I listen. Okay, so there's definitely a feeling of being one with nature. You definitely came to Earth because you loved the nature of it. I get this a lot when people ask themselves, why did I choose this planet to be reincarnated into? And honestly, the majority of people, well, maybe not the majority, but a lot of people, you just love nature. You love how Earth grows. You love the beauty of nature, the landscape. I'm seeing glaciers for some reason. Definitely sunsets and sunrises. Some of you liked glaciers or maybe water. Or maybe in past lifetimes you came from a planet or a place that was like glass-like and you liked the water here. That is very specific. That's interesting. I'm also seeing rainbows. Something about the color spectrum here. And this is interesting because I think humans evolved to see more and more color as time goes on, because in the past, I don't think we were capable of seeing all the colors we do now. But it's like some of you wanted to keep seeing how many colors you wanted to see. That was very specific. But regardless, nature is important here. Let's get your destiny cards. I want to get a few of these. Purification. Yeah, more nature there. I feel like some of you came here to really want to like save the earth or work in conjunction with it, especially if you work with natural ingredients or you're more like a natural kind of person. We have power. Power, and she wanted to come out reversed. Is she meant to be reversed? Oh, I'll elaborate on that in a minute. For some of you, there was a need for control over your own life, or something about, this is so interesting, and openness. Yeah, that makes sense. For some of you, you love stargazing, and I'm not sure if Earth is just one of the better places to do it. Because, and I'll get this a lot, because I know in a previous lifetime I've been an astrologer, and the way astrologers used to do this before telescopes were available, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never looked this up. This is just information a guide gave me. They would go up to the mountains and see how far they could see. And of course, there was less light pollution back then. So it would be easy to see certain constellations, to map them, to chart them, to see how they would move. It was very interesting because astrology has been around for a very long time, longer than than a lot of the equipment we use nowadays, a lot longer. So, I mean, think about it. Ancient Egyptians used astrology, ancient Romans, ancient Greeks, they used astrology to some extent. So there's something here about if you were into astrology, you probably went to somewhere where it was easy to see this. And in some cases, it would be mountains because, of course, you'd be closer to the sky, which is very interesting. With power, some of you liked the sense of control that you get on Earth because there's a lot of there's a combination of freedom of will on Earth combined with like destiny. Maybe this is a place where we get a lot more free will than others. I'm not sure, which would make a lot of sense considering that at least in today's climate, maybe not climate, in the way people view things nowadays, they really care a lot about their freedom and about whatever it is that they can do, and they have the rights to do everything. I mean, I live in the US, so you hear this a lot here, and that would make sense. Maybe some of you, especially if you were born in the US or any powerful country, a country that would be like in the like a first world country, I feel like you liked the power you were able to gain there, but not in a bad way. I'm not saying like you want to control people or want to have power over people. You just like the freedom that certain places give you, which is very interesting. Let's go ahead and get your gods and goddess cards. It's a combination of this pure softness with this need for power. I do feel this would be somebody who uses their power for good, though. Like, you would want power so that you can do a lot for, like, the environment, for example, or for people. We have Vulcan, inventiveness. Some of you were meant to invent something. Like, you're here to bring something to the world that the world has never seen, or if they have seen it, it's like a reinvention of something from the past that is meant to be brought into this, I'm hearing into this generation. So maybe you're here to update something from the past or to bring back. It could also be bringing back like old school things and putting them into good use, because I think of like older items that didn't use things like electricity, or they were just a lot easier to produce because they didn't require so much. I feel like a lot of you, you're here to, if not invent something, then reinvent something. You could also come up with your own things. This would be somebody who comes up with, like, I'm seeing, for example, natural beauty products, natural makeup, or something along those lines. Maybe you're, for example, a soap maker, or you make your own essential oil blends, something like that. Let's get your goddess cards. My pile one's life purpose. We have Buddhika, unity. You are meant to have a following of some sort. You are meant to bring people together. And it's interesting that these two look very similar. They're not from the same mythologies. At least I don't think so. But they both have tattoos and have like this very wild look to them. Long hair. So this is how you could look, or maybe this is your ideal look. Like, if you could look like anything, you would want to look like these two with their really awesome tattoos and some sort of long wild hair. Especially if you're a guy, I feel like you would rock long braids if you could, or dreads. Maybe you already do. And if you're a woman, again, long hair, but there's something striking about it. It could be red, it could just be really pretty long hair. But, and maybe that's something else you do. Like, that would be natural beauty products, like hair products. Let's get your Cosmos Oracle deck. What was my pile ones? Life purpose. And I know I'm giving lots of small little things here and there. This is also kind of a vibe check, so if you know this resonates with you, then we can move on to the tarot, and that'll give us some more the more spiritual context. We have vulnerability, 23, and I was kind of getting this where you're meant to open up people's vulnerability. And I'm not just saying, like, you know, with friendships or even partnerships. We have showing up, honesty, and communion. For a lot of you, you are meant to bring a change into people's lives in whichever way that is. Like I said, if it's with something you create, it could be with that. If it's with, especially if you're a therapist, a doctor, anywhere where you improve people's lives, you are meant to do that. It could be more on a personal basis, of course, like I said, friends or lovers. Regardless, I feel like you are meant to allow people to be very vulnerable. If not with you, then with themselves. I feel like there's really a need for understanding that we need to tap into the heart space here for you, pile one. I feel like you're very easy to get people to open up, whether you realize this or not. I think especially if you don't realize it, it's like there's something soft and sweet about your nature, something very accepting about it that people just, oh, sorry, that was my stomach. yeah, I guess confirmation. It makes them want to open up to you, and in doing so, understand a better part of themselves, which is pretty awesome. This is one of my favorite cards in this whole deck. But also for you to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Okay, we got two. We have celebrate your wins and get back to elemental. See, like I said, there's something about simplifying life here for you and other people. I feel like for a lot of you, you're meant to bring back simple things, simple methods that maybe have gotten lost. I just keep seeing like a more primitive way of doing things. You're bringing that back, or you're insisting on living in that kind of lifestyle. This would be like going off the grid. Like if that's something you've always wanted to do, I feel like that is very much in the in the cards for you. But that could be part of your life purpose, is to get back to basics, get back to nature. Definitely living out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, just doing your own thing. With celebrate your wins though, interestingly, we have a rooster here. Maybe some of you want to keep chickens, which is something you would do off the grid. But I do feel with celebrate your wins, like, what is this? Whatever accomplishments you do in life, I feel like you're meant to celebrate them. Like even the small things, because I'm kind of thinking of the small wins here. Celebrate even the smallest things, because everything you do is just one step on that ladder of your life that is meant to carry you forward. Even if you feel like it's not that big a deal, for a lot of you, you're actually creating like a patchwork quilt of things you're meant to do in this life. It's like check off this, check off that. And once you look back on it, like in the end, you'll see that you've done not just one life purpose, but several of them. And I feel like that's going to be very satisfying, you know, once that time comes. So I'm seeing fiber arts for some of you, I'm not going to lie. And I know this because I used to knit. So maybe some of you do some sort of fiber arts, whether it's knitting, crocheting, maybe you just like to keep sheep and you know, harvest their wool, something along those lines. And whatever else, carpet. I know people used to make, or maybe they still make carpets. It's just been a minute since I've seen a video of it. Something with the fiber arts, working with yarn, or maybe you make, yeah, crocheting, knitting. That comes back around every 15 years or so, because I started with like the second or first wave of it back in the 2000s. And then it came back during COVID times, because, you know, people were at home just not doing much. Surprisingly, I didn't get back into it. I still have my yarn and stuff, but anyway. So pile 1, your life purpose. Could also be woodwork. We have sacred gratitude, reverent appreciation, and prayer. You are meant to take a spiritual path in this lifetime, and if you're already here, you're probably already on your way there, or you could already have one. But also, she's touching this is a tree trunk, so again, communing with nature. This is definitely my pile of nature people. And then 2 more. We've got Divine Mother, nurturing, compassion, grace. Some of you, you are meant to be mothers. If you're a woman, or parents, I guess I should say, you are meant to bring a nurturing energy into this world, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with human children. It could also be with pets. Again, if you have like a farm, if you have sheep or chickens, it could also be in that way, because you do have to nurture these animals. You do have to take care of them. We also have shamanic journey, purpose, attunement, and vision quest. So it's not going to feel this way when you go on your life path, pile 1, but when you look back at it, I promise you will see like why you've done so much in this lifetime, why like every little thing that you've done is kind of going to add up to something big here. It's just small steps, small quests here. And then it's literally like side quests that you're doing within a video game. And once you look back at it, you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment and see how like certain things from those side quests, sorry, a book fell on the floor. Certain things from those side quests are going to just make sense whenever you look back at it. It's like you learned how to do this here, you learned how to do this there. It was all part of it, one big grand scheme, if you will. So yeah, I like this. It's like the power that you seek is something that you're going to find not in a place where you thought you would. It's going to be somewhere within yourself that is going to allow you to give a lot more back to people and to the creatures around you. For a lot of you, you will have like creatures. Maybe you work with horses. There is a horse here. And then of course, squirrel girl. I mean, I don't really think you can tame squirrels, but if squirrels are like a sacred animal to you, you could take that. They kind of are to me. I'm always surrounded by squirrels in my houses where I live, which is very interesting. I used to live somewhere where there were not squirrels, and they would bother me because I'd be like, where are they? They're fun to watch. They are. But yeah, this is what I have so far. This is like an overall view of some small things that you're meant to accomplish in this lifetime. So if this sounds like you, let's go ahead and look at the tarot, and I'm going to get a little bit more in depth there. Vulcan is also Hephaestus. Hephaestus and Vulcan are the gods of craft. So a lot of you are meant to take up some sort of hobby where you create something physically with your hands. And I already mentioned fiber arts, which would definitely be that. Even though that's more Athena's realm. Vulcan would be more like woodwork or metalwork. Anyone who builds houses definitely has Hephaestus within their archetypical makeup. So let's go ahead and do the tarot portion for my pile 1. So pile 1's life purpose. First of all, I already kind of figured out why you chose Earth, why you chose to be reincarnated into this lifetime. So let's start with that. Why did you choose? Because we all have a soul contract to be born into the life we have, whether we want to fully believe that or not. If you don't, this could just be a reason why you were born, like a reason why you were brought into this particular life, why you were given this life. And you may or may not agree with that, but either way. Okay, why were we got the 2 of Cups. A lot of you came here to make certain connections. This is definitely a pile that wanted to have like love in their life. Not necessarily romantic love. It could also be friendship. But a lot of you were seeking connection. Very interesting. But I think especially if you had a very difficult family upbringing, you wanted to overcome that so that you would understand what unconditional love is. It's very interesting. Let's get another card. We have the 4 of Cups. To learn detachment. That is so interesting. Yeah, I'm being told to learn detachment. To understand the value of companionship, of love, of what it is that people have to offer you. And to also learn detachment, which I know seems contradictory. But it's like being your own self, even within a connection or a friendship. We have the 2 of Coins to set things in balance as well. Because I feel like, yeah, for a lot of you, you came into either a family or a group of people that were very unbalanced. And you were there to kind of right the wrongs or to be the karmic person in your family, which is so interesting. I've never heard it that way. Just like we can have karmic, romantic relationships. You can also be the karmic person, which is funny because sometimes I'm looking and I'm seeing somebody who is just such a badass here, and they're like, I'm the one you see when your karma is being served. That's what I'm seeing for some of you. That is so interesting. But this is mostly within like families and friend groups. Like within any dynamic where there's a lot of BS going on, you're the one the universe sent whenever somebody needs their karma. And this could sometimes show itself through people. Well, one, they might try to ostracize you. They might try to say that there's something wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with them, and they're trying to tear down the person that they know would make them act right, and they don't want to act right. Very interesting. We have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, you're here to right wrongs. You're there to repair a system is what I'm hearing. And maybe some of you don't like this, or you don't feel that this should be your life goal, your life purpose. Honestly, I feel like for the majority of you, this will be more in the past, or you're already going through it. So it's not like no one's asking you to do this. This has already happened for you, and you will understand. So if this hasn't happened for you, or if you know this isn't you, or if this is something you don't want to do, you don't have to accept it. But for a lot of you, this has already happened. Maybe it happened without you even realizing. Like you just came into an environment and you switched things up without you doing anything. You were just there, and suddenly all hell broke loose because your energy requires change. Your energy requires people to act right, to act in their better interest, and to be very no nonsense. Very interesting energy. But I don't see, like, people may try to single you out, but the majority of people do not hate you, if you understand. Like, We also have the Empress. Ooh. You were meant to learn how to be in your Empress energy in this lifetime for sure. For those of you who pray to the Virgin Mary, La Virgen de Guadalupe here, this could be just confirmation. But there is a feeling here that you were meant to really step into Empress energy. And again, this is the Empress requires everyone to act right, not because she asks it. She never asks for anything. She just steps into the arena and everybody, you know. It's like when the teacher steps into the classroom and all the kids act right, or and because she's the Empress, it's a feminine figure. I'm thinking of like when a beautiful woman steps into a room full of men, no matter how powerful they are, no matter what's going on, they will all act right because it's like, oh, we need to impress this person. That's what I'm getting. You are meant to be somebody who's meant to be impressed by others, which is very interesting. So this could easily be the role of a leader or a leadership role. I know this is very out of nowhere, but because this is the last card I picked out of this is kind of like end game towards your, once you really step into your power. I am seeing 30s because it's the number 3. This is the energy you will embody, or anytime when you finally step into a more, if you want a position of power, this is when it's going to be shown. Whenever you step into a role of leadership, that's what I meant to say. I keep saying power, but I guess I mean leadership. Okay, so what is a life purpose? Because this is why you were meant to be born into the life you have. And then let's do the biggest life purpose. And it might come through in several ways. Like it might be multiple that add up to one. So what is my pile one's life purpose? We have 5 of Wands. Definitely not to be just standing around doing nothing. Even though the Empress is here, this is an active Empress. An Empress who, like I said, through her own energy, through her own vibration, she makes people act right without saying much. It's just like people see you and they know they're not meant to be dilly-dallying or, you know, acting a fool. A 5 of Wands lets me know you're not afraid to get down and dirty. You're not afraid of a fight. This could easily be like somebody who... is in the courtroom. Like I see this a lot from like women attorneys. Like they're not afraid. Like you would think they would go easier, that they would appeal to emotion. I mean, men do this too. I mean, honestly, in law, I think anything goes depending on the situation. But you're not afraid to get down and dirty. And of course, you don't have to be a woman here. I just do feel feminine energy rather strongly. Actually, I feel both. I feel it's just the Empress energy just comes through as something very divine. Page of Cups. Yeah, there's that emotional bond. King of Cups. Why is he reversed? Again, you're meant to open up people's vulnerabilities. Like you're good at getting to know people on the surface, but when it comes to getting to know them deeply, there's something here about you bring out certain situations or some deep vulnerability within people. And you will know this, especially within your romantic connections. Like you tend to bring out a side to your romantic partners that not a lot of people tend to bring out. And I see them very grateful for it. And then of course I do see the more avoidant ones kind of running away from it or shutting you out. And I think it's at that point when you know it's over or that you know you don't want anything. Because if people can't be completely vulnerable and honest with you, then you have nothing to give them. Because I feel like you only know how to be open and vulnerable with those closest to you. You're a very genuine person here. It comes very natural to you to want to be this way. So if they can't be that way with you, then you have nothing with them. And that's not much to ask of somebody. As long as they're, you know, ready and willing. And I feel like in the course of a romantic relationship, you would be ready and willing for this. But you're meant to... A lot of you're meant to be therapists. Yeah, 7 of Cups, helping with choices. You do have a lot of options in this lifetime to do whatever it is that you want with this particular skill of yours that... Again, you're meant to bring in change. You're meant to bring a karma to people, whether it's good or bad. And it all depends. Yeah, because I see somebody going into like in a workspace and it's like you're getting rid of the people that you know are just wasting company time and you're keeping the people that you know have only good things to offer. That's what I'm seeing. And this is regardless of like what their situation is, because you know and understand that if people really want something, they have to work for it. Or if they truly... Yeah, because I don't think, like, you do have a loving heart, but you don't give out pity anything because you definitely haven't been given that. So why would you give that to anybody else? It's like everybody makes their choices here. Very interesting. It's like people wouldn't expect this of you, but you have a very badass, hardcore kind of heart here. And it's not to say that you're mean. It's just like you expect everyone to put in their weight. You don't allow people to take advantage of yourself, of your kindness, of your love, and or of the systems around them. Because you don't do that, and you've been able to get by, so why should they? And then the last one is death reversed. And I'm not surprised. Like I said, you're here to bring about change. So death upright would be a rebirth. Reversed, it's like something that cannot be helped. A rebirth that happens every so often. So you're here to change people's lives for sure, whether good or bad. It's mostly good. I think even when it looks bad, like if you, for example, have to fire somebody, they go on to find something that is more suitable for them. And you don't have to worry about that. So if any of you have ever had any weird feeling about letting people go and wondering if they'll be okay, they will be okay. They'll find something better for themselves. They'll find something more suitable here. Very interestingly, especially, for example, within romantic relationships, if you felt the need to let go of somebody because they just were not giving enough in a relationship, like it was not balanced or they were just taking too much from you, if you ever felt bad about having to let that person go thinking, well, how are they going to get on? Trust me, they'll get themselves on their feet and they'll move on and they'll be fine. They were, if anything, they were leaning on you as a crutch, like you were being a crutch to them. And that's not fair to you, because even though you're very loving, like these people would have taken advantage of you and never have found their own life purpose, never have found the proper environment for them, which is very interesting. Because the Seven of Cups lets me know everybody has options, and you're here to present options to people and to also have options for yourself. So very interesting. I do see you being in a role of leadership, whatever that may be. It could literally be a mother, again, because this is the Virgin Mary and she's the mother of Jesus. She's like a very well-known mother. And that came up in the oracles as well. So some of you are meant to be very nurturing people to the people around you or the creatures around you if you have animals. Again, it does not have to mean that you're going to have children. That is still an option. But for a lot of you, you might nurture your pets, your cats, your livestock, if you have any. Like, you're meant to nurture people as well. Like, they like to be taken care of by you. But like I said, if you have romantic relationships or even friendships where people over rely on you, it can become off balance, and that's not what you're meant to do here. You're meant to show them how to stand up for themselves, because that's what a mother does. A good mother doesn't make their children completely dependent on her. A mother shows their kids how to do things for themselves, so that once they become adults, they're able to be, proper people of society and not just, dusties, essentially. But back of the deck, we have the Three of Swords. Some of you are wondering why you're meant to experience so much heartbreak in this lifetime. Okay, let's answer that then. I heard that right away. Because maybe some of this is resonating, but maybe some of these situations have actually broken your heart. So why the heartbreak? Because this might be this could easily be my pile of people who overgives, and then you wonder why. Pile 1. You've got the Four of Swords. You've got the Sun. We have the Devil. Again, to set things in balance. You're very overgiving. And the Devil here, it's like people get tempted by the energy that you have because you're so giving. The Sun, this is basically somebody who... And I hate to call you out, pile 1, because I love you so much. Because you don't fully believe in yourself. You don't fully have confidence in yourself. You over give to make up for the fact that you don't have a high opinion of yourself, or that you lack confidence, or that you feel you're not very worthy. And this is where this isn't fair. The Four of Swords is kind of like... I'm seeing somebody who needs a reason to get out of bed every day, because in the Rider-Waite, this is somebody who's like lying in bed and there's the swords there, and usually that means healing, that means rest, that means sleep. But I'm seeing somebody who needs a reason to get up out of bed every day. With the Sun reverse, it's like, well, it's not going to be you, or you have to learn how to step into your power here. And by that I mean your self-confidence. You need to start valuing yourself. So the heartbreak ends when you start valuing yourself a little bit more. Again, you're meant to step into Empress energy. The Empress doesn't overgive. She gives just enough, and she receives more than anything. And this isn't to make you out to be selfish. Like, the universe is not asking you to be selfish. So maybe it is. Maybe if you've been very overgiving, it is time for you to be more selfish, because all it's been doing, all this energy has been doing, is calling in people who are not great for you or to you. And then you feel depleted here with the Six of Pentacles reversed, and that's how you break your own heart. So there's something here about, even though you are meant to be very giving in this lifetime, know when the limit, where the limit is. Know when it's time to stop giving so much and to start receiving. For a lot of you, it could really help if you stopped giving so much in the beginning, because somebody will get used to that, and then that's all they expect. And once you stop that, you realize that they're not giving you anywhere near as much, because I think all you were getting from overgiving was the satisfaction of knowing that you were providing for those that you love, but you're not realizing that they need to do the same for you. And it's great that you get a good, ego boost or confidence boost out of providing for people, but they need to do the same for you. It has to be equal, because both two cards here of balance, two of coins, and the 6 of coins here are off balance. So this could be a big karmic lesson you have to learn in this lifetime. Let's put it that way. In fact, going forward, I think I will add a karmic lesson here to see what it is that you're meant to overcome in order to fulfill your life purpose. So yes, you're meant to be giving, you're meant to heal, but you're not meant to give so much to the point where you neglect yourself and break your own heart here. So let's move on to some closing advice. Actually, I may have to have a small cut here. Sorry for the cut, pile 1, but as you can see, it's been more than just a little cut. It is now evening time, but we're going to continue with your closing messages. So your life path, your life purpose, what do we need to know about pile 1's life purpose? Also, I lit the candles. This one's fake. This one's real. But we lit the candles just to get the mood going. I didn't even realize I didn't light them earlier. So let's get these 2 cards. We have power. Again, power. This came out in the oracles. Interesting. I am strong. I am grounded. I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. And that's kind of what I've been saying since the oracles. Like, there's like this gravity to you. There's a powerful energy to you. And it's interesting because once you step into this, you start gaining the sense of self-worth that you need in order to get yourself out of these heartbreaks that you end up being in, or like the situations where you end up breaking your own heart. We also have optimism. I look forward with sunshiny eyes and believe my path, in its own winding and twisting and up and downing way, is leading me to a brighter future. It might take a while, but that's okay. Soonish, I'll be doing everything I've dreamt for myself, and I'll even be able to pay my bills while doing it. Because someday robot overlords will take over, abolish credit cards, and absolve all debts forever, right? So there's something here about you evolving with the times, and if something isn't right for you now, it could just be that it's not ready for you. Or if something isn't panning out, it's because the situation hasn't become ideal for you yet. It's kind of like spirit or the universe is keeping you in a waiting room until you're ready to pass into the next phase of your life where something opens up for you. I did mention before that, well, no, I'm thinking of another reading. I did a reading earlier this week about messages from the universe, and in that particular pile, I forget which one it was, I was talking about how there are certain opportunities opening up for that pile where it's something that you never thought you would do, because it was something that wasn't really an option growing up. Like, this would not be a career that you would prepare for, because it probably wasn't a career whenever you were either in high school, college, etc. Like, it wouldn't be something you've studied for, because it's so new that the training for it is going to be like, I don't want to say rushed, but it's going to be very fresh, very new, but you're going to be perfect for this role or perfect for this situation. It could also just be that, whatever you're meant to be, you're ready for it, but it's not ready for you, I want to get one of these animal cards. The Spirit of Animals Oracle. She's a big girl. These cards are huge. Oh, personal choice. Okay, it's an animal oracle, and this is the only card in this whole deck that doesn't have an animal. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? Embrace these qualities. Letting me know, pile 1, that again, you have the option here. There are so many options for you to choose. Because you're meant to do more than just one thing. The one thing that you are meant to do, though, is bring this beautiful, nurturing, healing energy with you and to step into your power. I think it's with this nurturing energy that you actually gain power. Some of you could be like, I'm thinking of Cancerian energy. So you could have Mars in Cancer, maybe Jupiter in Cancer, or Cancer Sun. And you kind of harness the power of Cancerian energy and use that, like you nurture people, you care for people. And then let's get another, I don't know why I was feeling lots of animal cards for the closing advice, the Animal Apothecary deck. For my pile 1. Okay, you get 3. We have Claim Your Power. How many power cards are we going to get in this reading for you, pile 1? What's your destiny? What's your life purpose? Power. But not in the way you think. It's power in the most docile, beautiful way. We also have Magnetism through Gratitude. So this is just a reminder to practice your gratitude every day. We have 3 cups here, which is making me think of the 3 of Cups, but also a turkey, which makes me think of Thanksgiving. And then we have, almost there. So for a lot of you, I don't think you have yet stepped into your life purpose, but you're almost there. All you need to do is rewire your relationship with power. Maybe restructure your perspective on what power truly is, because it's not having control over people. It's not having power over everything. And power isn't, being able to snap your finger like Thanos and do whatever you want. Power is something that is within inside your heart, that you're able to change the people around you for the better. It's the gravity you bring. It's the energy you bring into a room, and it's the beautiful things you can do and create within people. But this is where we leave it, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the Lucid Dreams Tarot, then we have your reading here for you about your life purpose, what your life purpose in this lifetime is. Or if it's multiple life purposes. I know in the first pile, there was a little bit of multiple things. So if you feel like doing so, you can choose multiple piles, or this pile may give you one or several. I am getting a message for you already, because I had to do over this particular pile. And that's been happening a little bit more often with pile 2s lately. So something about second chances or a second time. In this lifetime, you were meant to try certain things more than once. I think to either understand yourself better. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to give everything a second chance here, but there's something about trying things over and over to see whether they're going to actually help you out. You're meant to do something maybe twice in this lifetime as well. The number 2 is definitely resonating in this pile. So maybe you're my pile of people who like the number 2 for that very reason. It's very interesting. And for some of you, it could be something about waiting for the next time around, because it's not ready for you, or it might not be, something here isn't quite ready yet. So you have to wait the second time around, whatever that may mean to you. It could be the next lifetime, but I don't feel like it is, because this is meant to be for this particular lifetime, your life purpose in this lifetime. So let's go ahead and go into the oracles. The oracles are going to give us an indication of several things that you are meant to accomplish in this life, or that you are set up for. This is life purpose. So you may or may not accept the life purpose. It all depends on what it is, because how we are reincarnated into this world is a combination of our own free will, the things we do here on earth, and some certain things that we've kind of made a contract with ourselves that we have agreed to do in this lifetime. And I am here to just let you know that even if you agree to do something in this lifetime, you can still go back and like rework that contract. I know that I've had to do that several times in this lifetime, where like the universe has reminded me, it's like, hey, you agreed to do this, but I was be like, respectfully, no, I don't want to do that. Let's rework that. Let's restructure it. And then of course there are things you can't go back on, because it could be like either something karmic or just something that is fated for you to do. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on with your pile 2, with your reading. I kind of want to see what this is, because you have a very interesting energy. The first time I did this was something completely, the message, if it still rings true, it will show up again. If not, then I feel like it was meant either for me personally or something else. So we have Doctor Strange. Intention is the gateway to glory. So regardless of what your life path, your life destiny here is, your life purpose, you are meant to set an intention before you achieve it, which would explain why you have to do this a second time around, or why you have to give it another shot. Because I think the first time around, there was no pure intention, or, well, maybe not a pure, I feel like the intention was pure, but the intention wasn't completely clear, if that makes any sense. We also have Jubilee. Be bright, be fearless, even in the dark. Be bright, be fearless, even in the dark. For a lot of you, it could be that you were either too young the first time you tried it, so it makes sense that it didn't work out. And for some of you with Doctor Strange, I'm thinking of the movie where he initially thought his life purpose was to, to be a doctor, and he was living this very fast kind of lifestyle. Like he had sports cars, he had, a lot of money. He was a little bit of a douchebag, honestly. And then he had his accident, and that made him reevaluate his life, and his life had changed completely and forever for that. In fact, I think whomever his love interest is in that movie, I think she gives him a second chance because she sees that he's changed drastically. So that could be something similar with your life here, pile 2. Not saying that you'll, heaven forbid anything bad ever happens to you, but you definitely go through some dark night of the soul where you have to reevaluate your life and see, I feel like this pile I feel like you've already gone through this, pile 2. Like you've reevaluated what it was that you initially wanted. Why is it so hard to speak? You reevaluated what you initially wanted in this life, and now you want something different, or you're seeing that your values are very different now. Like there's a different life purpose here. So your life purpose is whatever this second thing is. Like, especially if you've already had a career that you thought would be it, or that you thought that would be how you always wanted life to go. It's that second thing that catches your eye, or that, well, I don't think it caught your eye. I think it caught you. Like it caught you up in this particular situation. This could easily be taking a more spiritual path after taking a more conventionally professional path, if that makes sense. Because that's, yeah, I would watch the movie Doctor Strange, at least that beginning part, because it's a very interesting movie. It's if you're into spiritual stuff, you'll be into that. It's not my favorite of the spiritual Marvel movies. I think Black Panther is that, but this one is really good for that, again, that second time around, the second chance. Let's go ahead and get more cards. But for a lot of you, you're already in that second phase. You will know because your previous version of yourself is somebody you probably don't resonate with as much. I'm not saying that you resent them. You're probably very grateful to that person, but you know you're not that person anymore. You were meant to go through that, as difficult as it may have been. Pile 2, we have changes. Yeah, just further confirming changes. If you haven't already gone through this, this is kind of like a heads up to embrace the change, embrace the flow, embrace that whatever you knew before isn't everything that you knew. Like there's still more to learn. Because I could easily see this being a pile of people who became very successful at a very young age. And when that happens, it's hard to appreciate certain things. For example, if the first car you're ever given is a freaking Ferrari, like, are you going to appreciate any car after that unless it's, a Ferrari or better, or, something along those lines? That's what I'm getting. So yeah, it's very interesting. Maybe you've even had to see your own friends go through this. If it's not you, it could just be you seeing this through the lens of like close friends, maybe siblings. Let's get your cards, your Gods and Titans card. We have Zeus, leadership. So yeah, this is definitely a group that is meant to be in a position of leadership. Maybe you were given leadership very young as well. There's a story coming through, one that a boss of mine told me, that they were promoted. The first time they were promoted, they lost that job right away and got demoted because they were not ready. But the second time around, they were ready. That's what I'm getting with Zeus leadership, which is so interesting. It's funny that he would come through because he's the last person I would think about doing it in a tarot reading. Oh God, that's interesting. But yeah, maybe for some of you, you were given something very young and then you lost it just as quickly, and then you're meant to like regain it in this lifetime. You're meant to learn from that. You wanted firsthand experience in this lifetime. We also have Artemis, individuation. You're also meant to do things on your own or on your own accord. This is a very independent energy. So yeah, I'm also hearing no regrets. This could be my Sagittarius pile, because Artemis makes me think of Sagittarius energy, because she is she's an archery. She's into archery. Whatever you call somebody who does archery, she is that. So interesting. Let's get the rest of your cards. Pile 2. For some of you, if you've already tried a particular field, I think you're meant to try it again. Especially if you know it's something that you're passionate about or something that you do that comes very naturally to you. I'm also thinking how Artemis is the first child of, is it Leto? Oh yeah, Artemis is Zeus' daughter. Okay, I forget that. Because Leto is her mother. She's the first child. She's the twin of Apollo, but I think she was born first and she helped her mother give birth to Apollo, you know, moments later. So there's something here about you following in your father or your parents' footsteps or your forefathers, something along those lines, especially if you're a woman and maybe you're the first woman to do this after a long line of men have done this. That's specific. You can also flip the genders here if you need to. Maybe you're the first man in a long line of women who do this, like especially with spirituality. Like spirituality, at least how I've experienced it, has always been a very feminine thing, but men like to partake in their mother's practices and spirituality as well. So take it how it resonates. I just feel like whatever just you're following in your forefathers or foremothers' footsteps. Let's get more cards. Pile 2. We have wisdom, learning, joy, art, and music. Okay. Oh my gosh, what is her name? I love this goddess and I forgot her name. But there is something here about learning. Like you're meant to learn things through the art of joy. Through art of, like, this is learning to love something in your own way. I'm being shown Solange Knowles because I've seen her be described this way. Love her. This is Beyonce's sister. Like she grew up in music, you know, she's Beyonce, like Destiny's Child. They've been in music since their teens, and so has Solange. You know, she grew up around that, but she had to find her own path. Like her music is not as well known because she does music her own way. She doesn't do it in the more mainstream conventional way that Beyonce does it, because everybody knows who Beyonce is, but not everybody knows who Solange is, aside from, you know, what crazy things she's done, which is unfair because she's a very gifted musician. Like personally, I think her music speaks to me a little bit more deeply than Beyonce. Nothing against Beyonce, but like that's what I'm seeing. Like you had to learn things your own way, even if you're still following the family path or in the footsteps of the people who came before you. This could easily be the second born child as well for some of you. Like if you probably have an older sibling, or if you don't, then again, you're following in your family's, your parents' footsteps. I want to say Solange is the second child. I want to say Beyonce's the first. And so again, for those of you who know better than me, you will know that's the only reason I'm showing that example. Regardless of whether you like them musically or not, this is what I'm seeing. You had to learn to love things in your own way, because the first time you came around with this particular life purpose, you were just kind of approaching it in a way that you knew it was for you, but you weren't putting your heart into it. And the second time, you learned to relove it again. You learned to truly embrace it with your soul. Like your soul wasn't in it. You knew it was part of your soul's calling, but your soul wasn't in it. Does that make sense? Like you knew you had to do something, but you weren't aware why and how and why it was significant. So very interesting energy. And I kind of really love this, honestly, because it makes sense. It's like if you tried a tarot channel before, if you tried a YouTube channel of whatever theme category before and it didn't pan out, it's because, again, you knew you wanted to do it and maybe you did it for the money or something because you knew it would be successful, but it didn't take off. And the second time you're coming around, you have a whole rebrand, a revamp, something here. It does better because now you're putting your soul into it because you understand yourself more. And because you have the wisdom, you've gained the wisdom. Let's go ahead and get your destiny cards. And I'm glad I did this the second time around, because the first time I did this reading, the message was different, but like I felt like it was going to fall on deaf ears. But this time around, you will know who you are because you're trying something again. We have healing chaos. Yeah, you had to heal from something. There is something chaotic here. Like you had to lose yourself to find yourself again. We also have abundance. Yeah, and this will bring abundance. This will bring something good. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it will bring the abundance of whatever it is that you need into this lifetime. So whether it's community, family, a sense of purpose for some of you, because chances are if you're here, you probably do want some sense of purpose. You will understand it better and you will appreciate it far more than if you had succeeded the first time around, you would have given up on it anyway, is what I'm hearing. You would have given up on it anyway. Very interesting. Let's get the Cosmos Oracles. This might just be me. Sometimes when I pick up these oracles, they feel thicker and thicker. And I know they do that as you shuffle because of how like the edges get all weird. But for some of you, you're gonna value something more. It's gonna feel heavier. Like, or something might just be more the second time around. It's like you go in for the second harvest and you yield more than the first harvest. Pile 2. I'm being told to get 2 from here. We have resilience. Yeah, determination, willpower, and momentum. For a lot of you, this was just so that 1, it could be easier the second time around, and 2, so that you would know what you were getting into. And it's interesting what the situation is, because I feel like it's going to be different for all of you. Because I'm not really being shown what it is. I just know you're meant to do it a second time around. And this can even be like the second lifetime that you're trying this. You could have tried this in a past life and it didn't work out. And maybe you know that for a fact. And this time it will. We also have horizon, intention, potential, and foresight. Yeah. It's like you know better now, so you know what to focus on. You know what the horizon looks like now. You know what looking at the horizon means. You know, it's like you have the experience. So now coming back into this, you know what to look for. You're much more, it's this wisdom. It's the learning from your past. Like you've changed, but so has your mindset and so has your appreciation for this thing. I would like to know what this thing is, but I'm not getting anything clearly. I think a lot of you will know. Maybe you already had some sort of question in mind, like, is this my life purpose? This is just confirmation that yes, but you may have to do it twice, or you may have to try it a second time before it actually takes off. Again, I'm seeing somebody like trying something maybe in their youth, in their 20s, and it doesn't really take off, even though they loved it and even though they put their all into it. But the second time around, they know better. Like they know how to navigate things more, or things have opened up for them so that it's easier. But regardless, the soul is being put here. Very interesting. Very interesting. You're meant to find your own way about this. And you're not really meant to... I mean, I don't want to say you're not meant to follow in somebody's footsteps. I think you're just meant to feel that you're not following in somebody's footsteps, even if you are. Like to know that your footsteps are different from theirs, even if you're still following the same path. You know, you're going to walk differently. You're going to take different detours, different ways of getting there. You're following the same path, but you're not meant to do you're not meant to do everything that they do, because you're yourself and you're not that person, and you both were brought differently into this world. I think especially if you have a twin, maybe some of you have a twin here with Artemis, because like I said, her brother is Apollo. Or you're meant to follow in your family's footsteps. Maybe both. Maybe you're following the family footprint, or you're making like an extension of that and following your own path, but still staying in that family name, like honoring that family name, if that makes any sense. Very interesting energy. This could easily be somebody who's trying to start a business, but like a family business, and tried to keep that family business going, or it was part of your life purpose to try twice. That's for sure. And I'm already hearing some of you wondering if this also has something to do with like a relationship. Maybe. I'm not going to say yes or no for that. I'm just going to say maybe, because I don't want to feed delusions here. Especially if you know that person was not great for you. But let's, if this sounds like you, if you know that you're already giving something a second chance here, and you want to see if it's part of your life purpose, because I feel like this particular pile, you already had your question. You just want to see if it's going to be true. Then let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because I'm rather curious. For a lot of you, you are meant to resolve you are meant to resolve issues with the father, like the father wound in this lifetime as well. That is part of your life purpose. Regardless of how your connection with your father is, it could be your own father's wounds that you know they have. I think especially if you had like a good relationship with them, or you know, if the relationship wasn't strained, I still feel like they had their father wounds and you're meant to help resolve those in your own way. It could be directly with them, it could be indirectly, but you are meant to resolve father wounds regardless of how your connection with your father was here, because there's this feeling of masculinity being an issue, or maybe you wanted to heal masculinity, specifically like the toxic aspects of masculinity here. You wanted to help heal that. I get that from time to time in my readings, because I feel like some of us are meant to do that. I know that's part of my life purpose, which is why I include men a lot in my readings, whether they see that or not, you know. I know the majority of my viewers are women and people who identify as women, and I, embrace and welcome you all, of course. But I've always had this, I think because I grew up around a lot of men and I saw how they suffered in silence in a way that women didn't. I've always wanted to heal that. So maybe for some of you, you also have that kind of mentality. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. So the first section is going to be why you chose this lifetime, why you chose the life you have. Because like I said, there is like a soul contract before we are born. We choose the family we're born into. We choose the body that we're born into. We choose certain aspects of our life that we're born into. And then the second one will be your actual life purpose, or some of them. For this one, it might be something different from what we had in the oracles. Maybe we'll get a little bit more direct about it. So, pile 2. Why did you choose this lifetime? Why did you choose this life? We have the 6 of Cups. A lot of you, you have this nostalgia. You have a longing for the past. This is especially true if you know you've lived many lives on this earth. You will have like a soul longing for something from the past that you used to do or have. And I feel like you wanted to like experience that again in this lifetime. This is definitely my pile of people. You've already met people that you've lived past lives with. And again, you will know who you are. You've met people that you've lived past lives with. It could be friends. It could be maybe family. For a lot of you, it will be your romantic partners, because you will just have this knowing that you used to, in previous lives, like live a different lifestyle or something along those lines. Also, there's something here about people being able to be very vulnerable with you. Like people open up to you very easily, or you make them feel very comfortable, very at home. Like this childlike innocence that you may bring. Kind of like how kids, you know how they speak very openly and freely with each other? I feel like that's how people are with you. You definitely bring out people's inner child as well, like that very pure, loving child within people that has never really given up on their dreams. And this is something very beautiful about you, pile 2. You chose this lifetime, you chose this life because you wanted to do that exact thing. You wanted to bring that to people. You wanted to remind them of who they are in their heart. Very beautiful energy. Let's get another card. People may act silly with you as well. We have the Star. I'm not taking her reversed. And the 7 of Pentacles. So you definitely chose some hard work in this lifetime. The Star makes me think that you give a lot of people hope. You wanted to be a beacon of hope. You wanted to be able to help them through. And it's beautiful. This is Aquarian energy as well. But I'm getting a sense of like you wanted to bring a sense of, what's the word? Magic into people's lives. Because the star would be the hope for that. I'm seeing things like Sailor Moon. I'm seeing like, what is it? Like you were meant to be this beautiful beacon of hope for people, to give them, I keep hearing like a second chance. Maybe you do that. But like there's this feeling here that you're meant to bring something beautiful out in people. Like people really do look up to you in some type of way. The 7 of Pentacles, especially reversed, I feel like you also chose to live a life where you were meant to work a little bit because you didn't want things to be easy. Maybe in past lifetimes things were easy, and like I said, maybe you took it for granted, or maybe early in your life things came easy, but then you wanted to work for it again because you didn't want to, you wanted to truly value something here. And what better way to value food? For example, if you don't grow it yourself, or if you don't cook a meal yourself. I think you value meals more when you cook for yourself. This is why, and I've seen this with people who don't cook, like they don't understand that going to a restaurant, if to do things like ask for I don't know. I just feel like people appreciate their meal more when they cook it. And I say that as somebody who cooks, as opposed to people who don't cook and just throw away half their meal. They don't know what goes into that, or they don't know how much they are wasting, etc. So I don't know, take that if it resonates. I'm just seeing that you value things more when you take the harder way. Let's get another card. Why did you choose this lifetime? Why did you choose it? Why did you choose some of the things that happened to you in this lifetime, I guess? We have the Queen of Wands. Oh, some of you really went through a massive glow up. It's like you chose to remain in the shadows because you knew that as soon as you stepped out of them, you would get a lot of attention, or that things would just be different, that things would be different for you. This is somebody who chooses not to, for example, be famous because they knew as soon as they would have like a very, very, like a heavy weight on their shoulders. And I feel like you didn't want, maybe there's still a reluctance to you about this pile too. Not saying that you're going to be famous, but you're definitely meant to be in the public eye for sure in some way, especially with Hope here, or sorry, the star here, which was reversed. You're meant to be a star. The Queen of Wands, you are meant to be in the public eye. You're meant to do something here and really be like a beacon of light for people. Interesting. I'm seeing Princess Diana for some of you. I'm not sure what that means. But I'm kind of being shown that if like Princess Diana had been given a second chance to, you know, be a princess or a queen again, then she would do it differently because she was so young when it started. It's interesting that I'm getting very specific celebrity examples here. Anyway, and I don't mean to speak for her, but that's like the example I'm being shown, if that makes sense. Let's also get, ooh, death reversed. You are meant to bring about such change in this world. Like, you're not afraid to go through a rebirth. You're not afraid of do-overs. And this is actually very badass energy from you, Pile, too. Like, I wasn't expecting this. Like, at first, your energy comes off as very sweet and beautiful. But then the more people get to know you, the more they realize, oh, Pile 2 is hardcore. They're not afraid of starting everything over again. They're not afraid of letting go of all of that which they know and starting anew. And I think that scares some people, the intensity at which you are willing to fully live the kind of life you know you are meant to live, or to fully, for a lot of you, this has something to do with embracing people. So maybe you're meant to change people's lives. You're not afraid of changing people's lives. You're not afraid of, for example, being vulnerable with them or allowing them to see a true version of themselves. And I could easily see how a lot of people would be repelled by this as well, by the way, because people who are not ready for your energy would easily find a way to run away from you or vilify you. But people who understand this, which may not be a lot, they understand that your energy is not for everybody because you're so hardcore. People who wake up every day and are not afraid of starting over, that's something very difficult. Very strong scorpionic energy, but also like either Leo or Aquarius. I'm getting that. And a little bit of Earth here. So you might have, this specifically says Saturn and Taurus. I do get the Taurus for sure, but because I think, well, I honestly, Taurus or Capricorn, but regardless, there's a feeling here that you're not afraid to start anew. It's like any empire you've ever had, if it was to crumble down, you wouldn't be afraid to start anew and build a new empire and maybe even build it better. Maybe in a past life, you've actually had to do this. Like, you've had to see your world crumble, and in that heartbreak be like, well, it's time to start anew. I can start with the same rock that is left here, is what I'm hearing. I think that's a saying in Spanish, I think. Empecé de nuevo y con la misma piedra. It's like I began anew and with the same rock here, with the same stone. Interesting. I'm not sure if there's like a saying like that in English, but very interesting. Let's go ahead and get your actual life purpose. Now that we have the foundation of who you are, Pile 2, somebody very, oh my gosh, this energy is something else. I love it. I respect it for sure. Massive respect to you, Pile 2. Let's get your life purpose. What was it meant to be? We have the Five of Swords. You're not afraid of conflict. You're not afraid of getting into a disagreement. You're not afraid of expressing your viewpoints, your emotions. You're not afraid of expressing yourself in general. And that could have been something you've had to overcome in this lifetime as well, especially if you had like a lot of throat chakra blockages. I felt like you were meant to express yourself. And maybe when you were younger, you couldn't. So you learned to relearn to find your voice in your adult life. That's for sure. Because I'm seeing arguments with the Five of Swords, but not like bickering and not like, you know, causing trouble. It's just like you're not afraid to say what needs to be said. You know, I'm hearing I said what I said, and I'm not afraid to repeat myself. King of Pentacles. Yeah, you're meant to create abundance and stability, whatever abundance means to you, because it doesn't necessarily have to be money. You are meant to bring stability into this lifetime, whether it's for yourself or other people. I feel like for everybody involved, I feel like you can't really help but be a sense of stability to people here. Very interesting energy. We also have the Empress. Is she meant to be reversed, or you were meant to refine your Empress energy? This came out in pile 1, but in a different way, I want to say. But you were definitely meant to especially this is my pile of people who had trouble with like their femininity or with their receptive energy. You were meant to refine that in this lifetime. Maybe this is the first lifetime in a long time where you've been a woman and you've kind of had to get used to being a woman, and you kind of look at all the things around you and you're like, well, that doesn't seem fair. Why are we discriminating with genders here? So you were meant to refine your Empress energy, to refine this energy of knowing that you are worthy within your own feminine energy. Same thing if you're a man here, like you were meant to find the value in women, refine the value in women. Not saying that you didn't have value for them before, but to understand them more and maybe be like a protector here. Very interesting. Let's get more cards. And honestly, Pile 2, you're the kind of person that the people get to know more about you, the more they find it hard to like to draw away from you, or it's like easy to get really involved in your cause or to really appreciate you as a person. That wouldn't surprise me. Just a side note, we also have the Lovers reversed. I'm not surprised. This came out in where did this come out? I can't remember. Either way, different. You were meant to have, like, for this pile, I think it was part of your soul contract to have difficulties in love for a reason. I feel like you're meant to have like either one partner for the rest of your life. So you were like, okay, let me get all the problems out of the way in the beginning in my youth, and then just be with one person for the rest of my life. I am seeing that if you have never been married before, or if you have never settled down before. It could also be that this could be my pile of people that only want one relationship in their whole lifetime if you've never dated anybody before. I do see that from time to time. It's like, I don't want anybody else. I just want one person and never have to worry about it. This could easily be somebody like, maybe you married very young, but you lucked out and you and that person like work everything out together and your relationship just gets better and better every year. I can see that. That's not gonna be everybody. I feel like that's rare. So if you have that, you know, you're very lucky, pile 2. But for the majority of you, you only want one marriage. You only want one partner. You don't want to have a bunch of baby daddy, baby mamas. You don't want, you don't want that kind of drama. Or if you do, you want it early in your life so you don't have to deal with it as an adult or as you get older. Like maybe you were wild in your youth or in your 20s maybe, but then after a while you're like, I just want one person and I want to dedicate everything to them. And I want them to dedicate everything to me as well. So very interesting what is coming through here in terms of partnerships. And like I said in the oracles, like if you are meant to give something a second chance, I feel like the person you give a second chance could be the person you end up with for the rest of your life. Only take that if it resonates. I'm not here to, make that a final judgment decision. You still have free will here, of course. Let's get one more card. And for a lot of you, you are meant to kind of help people with relationships. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, 2 more cards. Nice. We have the 8 of Pentacles. You will reap the rewards of your hard labor. King of Swords. Is he meant to be reversed or... Yeah, okay. You're meant to overcome certain mentalities that are keeping you from believing that you deserve certain things. And you're also meant to help people with this. This is somebody who works really hard towards something. You're very capable. The King of Pentacles definitely deserves all the rewards that comes with the 8 of Pentacles. But this King of Swords is it's like you're your own worst enemy. So part of your life purpose was to overcome yourself. Like understanding that the worst enemy you will ever have is nobody outside of your own self and your own mind. So this is you understanding that in order to be the best person or thing you could ever become is to view your shadow side, view that part of yourself that doubts everything, and to overcome it. And in doing that, you help other people do the same thing. You could easily become like a life coach or maybe like a motivational speaker, maybe a little bit of everything. Maybe you definitely help people through their issues in fighting themselves, honestly. Because why am I being shown? I'm seeing Dragon Ball imagery. I'm sorry. Sometimes my anime pops in here. I see Dragon Ball as a very spiritual anime for whatever reason. And I'm seeing him defeat Goku Black, which is so interesting, which is like the evil version of well, not to spoil anything, but he looks like an evil version of Goku and he has to defeat him. That's what I'm being shown. But there's a lot of animes that do the same thing, or I guess video games, etc., where there's like the protagonist and then like the evil version of the protagonist, which is really just a version of that protagonist and they're defeating them. I see you defeat your own doubts here. Your own worst enemy will always be yourself, and you acknowledge that. You're like, I have no enemies but my own doubts and my own blockages and the things that like, you get in your own way, you self-sabotage, and if you can overcome that, you will feel that you have achieved something in this lifetime. Not only that, I do feel that, again, giving something a second chance is your chance to defeat that past version of yourself that was so riddled with doubt, with lack of self-belief in themselves. And I kind of really love this pile too. It's like people are rooting for you because they understand that you take accountability for everything that's happened to you in your life, and you're willing to overcome that. And what better way than to understand, I feel people, even people who maybe don't like you, really respect you if they were to see this side of you. And I feel like a lot of them will. Very beautiful energy, honestly. Like, I have massive respect for you. And I feel like for a lot of people, or for the majority of you, this will be like a lifelong journey. You may not achieve this until maybe a little bit later in life, or maybe you will record this progress, or this might be part of, like, I could see some of you writing a book about this, or writing a program where you explain this, or you share your own story in some way. Very interesting. And people will find, they will find that story to be very, very pivotal, very, like, I just see you inspiring thousands of people to support you in this way. Like I said, you bring out something beautiful in people, but what they least expected was to see somebody like you say things like you're your own worst enemy, when they don't see an enemy within you, but they don't know your inner workings. And I feel like that allows them to see their own inner workings. Beautiful energy. Let's what's the back of the deck? Ooh, Knight of Swords. Yeah, for some of you, you are meant to be a speaker or some type of messenger within this lifetime. I love this so much. You are meant to be a type of messenger here. And this is very much like underdog energy. I feel like maybe some of you had like speech impediments growing up, or maybe you didn't even speak the language that you fluently speak in now, and the language you learn, or something about that. Something about actual speaking patterns is important here. But the King of Swords reversed and the Knight of Swords, imagine the Knight of Swords going up against an evil king is what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. This is you defeating your inner demons, you defeating your ego, and understanding that you can transcend that. Like, I love this. It's very badass energy. Pile two, you are I hate saying things like you're your own worst enemy, but I think you yourself acknowledge and know this. And in defeating that, you become a better person, and people respect you for it. Because one other question I had was a karmic lesson here, but I feel like you understand what that is. It's this energy of you knowing you have to change things around, because the way you were doing things before was only keeping you behind, it was keeping you back, and you never wanted to hold yourself back. So you overcame your own BS, essentially BS that you yourself understood, and became a better person. I love this about you, Pile 2. I can see why you have so many admirers, and I can see why people would also kind of go to you for advice on relationships, because maybe you were on the brink of for example, divorce or breaking up with somebody, until you realized, you know what, I acknowledge where I have played a wrong role within this relationship, and I bettered myself and saved it. And maybe your partner did the same, like they followed suit. Very beautiful energy. I feel like whatever partner you end up with, massive respect for each other. It's going to be on a basis of respect, of friendship, and even a very strong spiritual connection here. I feel like it's that spiritual connection that allows you to have that respect and love for each other. I feel like it's an unconditional love. People are going to wonder and ask how you found your partner. Heck, I'm even asking that as well. I'm kind of curious about this. Let me ask for that, because I was asking about karmic lessons, but it seems like you already know what this is. I kind of want to know what role the people in your life are going to play, specifically this one relationship. Even if you have multiple relationships in this lifetime, pile 2, I feel like they all play a pivotal role in your progress, and even they have a respect for you. This could easily be my pile of people who, like, even your exes respect you, even if they want nothing to do with you anymore, or if you want nothing to do with them. Ace of Pentacles. I'm hearing placing the seed in the wrong soil. Seven of Cups, multiple options. It's like you never closed off your options, or like you both choose each other every time. You choose each other either because you can't help it and there's like this feeling there for each other, or because you actively choose to choose each other every time. Which, can I get a clarification on that? Because even I don't understand pile 2. the world. The world upright is knowing that you're feeling complete, but reversed, it's like understanding that this feeling of completion is a combination of whatever's going on within yourself and whatever's going on within your partner. And if you can come to an agreement of what it is that you both want at any given moment, because I'm seeing you two like renegotiate the contract every year or so, or maybe like every anniversary or every few, whatever time you need allotted to this. You come together and you speak about how you feel about each other, how you feel about the connection, how you feel about things in general. You're very vulnerable with the person you end up with. And this person, honestly, you bring that out in this person. This person really appreciates this about you. It's very beautiful energy. Back of the deck again, the Hanged Man. And again, that I'm seeing a shift in perspective. Like, you're not afraid to shift your perspective, not because you're wishy-washy, but because you understand that in order to evolve, in order to change, certain things about your mind also have to be readjusted and change with the times or with whatever it is that you have going on. Again, massive respect to this pile. I absolutely love this energy. You could even do some sort of thing where you teach people how to have healthy relationships, and you and your partner come through in this where like you really help people out with it. Like, I'm not seeing couples counseling. It's more like you two decide to do things on your own in your own healthy ways. So like, even if you did end up parting ways, which I doubt just because of how healthy this is, you would still be really good friends, or you would still be in each other's lives as like, you're, and I see this a lot, people know that they're meant to be in each other's lives, just not as romantic partners. I do doubt that for a lot of you, just because, again, there's this sense of like really belonging to each other here. Very beautiful. I didn't expect, romance to come out in this pile, but I guess some of you needed to hear that. If you don't have this person yet, you will. I'm hearing some of you have already met this person because of second chances. That said, it's no one toxic. That said, it's nobody toxic. You know who your toxic people are. It's not them. Okay. Or if it is, because I did mention that earlier, they will have changed so much, you can't deny that their toxicity is no longer an issue. But that would have to be like after years of change or something so drastic and dramatic, it's hard to deny. They would have had to have, for example, a near-death experience. That's what I'm seeing. But that's very far and few in between. Like, that's going to be a very small percentage of some of you with a former toxic partner coming back around and having a complete life change. Like, I'm trying to keep this as realistic as possible. But let's go ahead and move on to your final closing advice about your life purpose, pile 2. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Like, let me know in the comments below if this resonated with you. And let me know if you've tried something a second time around and if it's succeeded, or if you've been thinking about doing something a second time around. So we have some affirmators cards. We have Unicorn Voice. My voice is unique to me. The things I make and say and do are totally wonderfully only under the sunderfully me. Even the way I draw a single dot is unique to me. Even the way I whistle a song or make a sandwich or sign a birthday card for my ex. See? Because isn't that just so me? So imagine how fantastically fun it will be to see this me be me when unleashing something creatively. Want to see? And I feel like I've never seen this card in this deck before, but it makes sense because it's like, this is what I've been talking about. Like, you are very much supposed to do things your own way and not any other way that anybody else has done it before. So even if you have a mentor, you know what? And I see this sometimes. Maybe you have like issues with mentors because they expect you to follow in their footsteps exactly. But the truth is you're meant to do things your own way. So if you stray from that mentor, and if that mentor takes it personally, they were not really meant for you. Or maybe you've had issues with this because strong Aquarius energy here. You might have like specific Aquarius placements because it doesn't come off right away, but it could be like a moon or Mercury, Venus, something along those lines. But yeah, also the thing about the ex, I'm not saying some of you are going to end up with an ex. I'm not saying that at all, but you could end up having something very beneficial with that person. Or like, for example, if you do have a child with your ex, there's something there about second chances and giving them, the benefit of a doubt for them to better themselves. Beautiful energy. Let's get your spirit animal card, or spirit of the animals card for my pile 2 for your life purpose. We have pronghorn, action. Now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talents will always help you land on the pinnacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. Yeah, for a lot of you, as soon as you take action, you will find success. It's kind of like as soon as you're called to do something, like the minute you start on your journey toward it, like things will get easier and things will fall into place and things will just make sense to you. It all starts with that action though. Let's go ahead and get the last card, Animal Apothecary cards for my pile 2. Okay, you got 2. We have immense growth, 15. Yeah, there's a lot of growth for you here, pile 2. I feel like a lot of you have already gone through this or you're still going through it. And you are more, number 30. So your 30s could be of importance, but with you are more, I love this. It's like you become more and more every year. Your expansiveness keeps growing. Like you just become something. I don't know how to put it into words, but I have so much respect for you, pile 2. So much respect. In fact, it's funny we have 15 and 30, so something about doubling here. Again, times 2, second chance, pile 2. There's something there for you, pile 2. But this is where I leave it. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 2, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the Modern Witch Tarot, then we have your reading here for you. For your life purpose, we're going to see what one of your life purposes it may be. Feel free to choose multiple piles. We have multiple life purposes here. For this pile, I had the song from Slumdog Millionaire, Jai Ho, stuck in my head before I started this, and it was so loud and it was so strong. I was like, okay, let me just look up what the meaning of that song is, specifically the original one, not the one with the Pussycat Dolls, because I know that one has like English lyrics, but I wanted to know what Jai Ho meant. Apparently it means victory to thee from what I looked up, and I was like, oh, so I love that. For this particular pile, you're definitely meant to have victory in your life at some point over something, maybe over a certain course of time. I don't know. I just feel very positive vibes from this pile for sure. So pile 3, we're going to look at the oracles to see what some of your life purposes may be. It could be multiple. It could be one specific. The past few piles, they've had multiple things. Like one had lots of small things, and then one had like a very specific one, like a very specific theme of that life purpose. And then like a few more specific ones. But we are going to look in the tarot why you chose this life for this particular life purpose, as well as what the actual life purpose may be. But let's go ahead and start with your oracles to get a sense of who you are, what your purpose or purposes are meant to be in this lifetime. And like I said, go ahead and choose multiple piles. We have Sir Nuno's shape-shifting. You're meant to be lots of different things to lots of different people. This could easily be my pile of, for example, actors, or maybe you do some sort of job where you know you're meant to play more than one role. I like this energy because I feel like not everybody can pull this off, because it's hard to, you know, change yourself in this way. This is definitely somebody with like mutable astrological energy. So Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, like you're able to shift into many roles, and maybe you do have many life purposes in this particular lifetime. You could also work with animals, just because I see a lot of animals within this creature, but that's only if you already are called to that. We also have Andromache, strength. You're meant to be, it could be physically strong. I could easily see that. Maybe some of you chose to be like, I could see this as being both flexible and strong in the body. But it could also just be that maybe you were meant to be in your body very, very strongly in this lifetime. For some of you, you could end up being things like personal trainers, coaches. Maybe you're meant to be very athletic, or something to do with the body here. Something about your body is important. Let's get more cards from your Destiny Oracle. For pile 3. Maybe you're meant to be an athlete, because victory to an athlete does mean everything, you know? You want to win, specifically like a competitive athlete. Some of you might end up doing a lot of, what's it called? Competitions. Or maybe you did when you were younger, and that's just one of the aspects of yourself. Success again. Yeah, victory, success. Pile 3, you're meant to achieve things in this lifetime for sure. We also have wisdom. And you're meant to pair it with some sort of wisdom. You could, yeah, I could see this as like a coach of some kind, specifically more like a physical coach, where you teach people about their body so that they know how to better work with it. A yoga trainer for sure would be in this pile as well. Somebody who's meant to teach yoga, because yoga really does come with more wisdom than anything. When I did yoga, I mostly did it for like the spiritual and mental aspects of it. I didn't really care to be flexible, though I did love to, move my body around because I've always been active. But for a lot of you, it could be the mindset of whatever active things you do that really draws you to it. Like I know people who run not because they like to run, but because they like that mental clarity that running brings to them, or the what's it called, the adrenaline rush or the euphoria. Something about, if you're very much in your physical body, you love how that makes you feel. Because I'm being shown people who like extreme sports as well, who do them, like bike riding, or I'm seeing skydiving. Like somebody here loves that feeling, that rush of like their body, and how that makes them feel, which I understand. I love roller coasters for that reason. We have Ronan the Accuser. Let it all burn. Interesting. So you definitely release a lot cathartically through your physical body. I kind of got an 18 plus message here, but this doesn't have to apply to you, pile 3, nor am I suggesting anything if you don't already do it. It's kind of like your physical body means a lot to you, and you open this up within other people as well. You make people love their own physical body. You make them feel at home in their body. And I think this is especially true with intimate partners. We let it all burn. It's kind of like, again, catharsis within the body. Like you feel things first in the body, and then in the soul, then in the mind. And it's very interesting. This is definitely my pile of people who have to do some sort of physical activity, even if it's just, like I said, being at the gym. You are meant to be some sort of physical trainer or a yoga instructor, a coach of some kind, a physical coach. Like you're meant to mentor people with the wisdom that you gain through your body. Let's get more cards. Because you realize that you come in thinking strength is muscle, but then you realize strength has multiple meanings to it. Like I'm seeing various definitions of strength and how that word especially changes for you, pile 3. It's like you begin with it thinking it's muscle or something heavy or something, strong, and then you realize it's the strength of mind, it's the strength of the body, of the soul, of the human experience, the strength of the human experience. Beautiful energy. We've got friendship, support, fun, unity, and play. I feel like you're meant to make a lot of friends through this as well, especially, for example, if you compete a lot. It's like your friends could also be the people you compete against, but there's a respect there. There's this feeling of friendship, of unity, playing especially, because think of how children, when they're young and they're being put into sports, they do it for fun. They do it to release energy, because kids are so energetic, but they also make friends, and then they also do something. It's like it gives them multiple purposes as children. And maybe even if you didn't do this as a kid, maybe spirit is guiding you to do this now as an adult, as a way to find out what it is that you want. For example, if you've been thinking about, I don't know, taking a martial arts class, like that jujitsu class that keeps, wanting to teach women how to defend themselves, maybe go to that, because I feel like you will find the right people there for you. You might make friends there. You might, just learn something there. Only if that resonates, of course. I feel like a lot of you will already kind of be in this, whatever it may be. We also have River of Blessings, releasing constraints. That's what I mean. Like you're releasing something as you move your body. Because like I said, I went into yoga for something very mental when I first started. But then I got very spiritual with it. Like I would literally feel my energy flow, the Kundalini awakening within my body when I started doing yoga, specifically during Savasana at the end of it. Because I've always been very active. I've always liked to exercise. But yoga brought something else to it that I had been missing. Like I used to dance a lot. Dancing would bring me, that nice euphoric high. But then yoga would bring me back down to earth. And I feel like a lot of you get that through the physical things you do. Some of you could also just help people with their own bodies as well. So like a massage therapist, a physical therapist, etc. Back of the deck, we have calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. This makes sense. Maybe some of you do like even if you started this particular journey as something more physical, you ended up liking the mental effects of this. And that's, again, very beautiful energy. I feel like you understand yourself very well. You understand yourself to the point that you know who you are. And I feel like you're meant to help people through this as well. You're meant to help people understand their bodies, their mental landscape through their bodies. This could also be breath work for some of you if you're wanting to teach people how to do mindfulness exercises, mindfulness breathwork exercises, or how to connect the body and mind together. Because sometimes there is a disconnect, especially for people who have had trauma. Like they want to disconnect from their bodies because of things that have gone on in their life, or they feel disgusted by their body, so they want to stay more in their mind. Vice versa. Maybe some people are disgusted by their mind, so they want to stay more in their body. It's for this reasons that I have a hard time going into gyms, even though the universe has been asking me to join a gym for a long time. I can't. I try to step into one and I just feel repulsed because I vibrate and like I feel the energy and I'm like, this isn't me. This isn't it. So I have yet to find one that resonates with me. Maybe for some of you, you're meant to do that. Like start a mindfulness gym, one that really incorporates not just building the muscle and healthy exercise, but also to implement something along the lines of mental wellness as well. Like it starts with yoga, breathing exercises, like all these things that you think don't have anything to do with each other, but they actually do because you marry both of them. I forget what ancient civilization did this. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of them, but I'm thinking specifically of I think it's the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, where they combined both muscle and philosophy, like in order to be a well-rounded person or a well-rounded warrior. Correct me if I am wrong. I can't remember what it is, and like I said, I feel like it's multiple as well. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you, pile 3. I'm loving this energy, by the way. Absolutely love it. We have overrate your intuition. A lot of you, you're very intuitive, especially when it comes to your body, especially when it comes to what you know you need to do for wellness. But you don't take it seriously. Maybe people have taught you not to take your intuition seriously. It's like you know when to rest, you know when to get up and what to do in order to make your life better, but it's like you don't want, like you feel like you separate everything and feel like everything has its own time and purpose, when the truth is you're supposed to implement it all at the same time. Because I'm being showed a plate of food, and you want to separate all the foods because you want to keep them separate. And I understand that. I know people who are like that because sometimes two foods mixed together don't taste good. But what I'm being shown is that you need a plate, you need a meal where you incorporate everything together, where you just mix everything together, you know? So take that as it resonates. Because I'm kind of being shown like an ice cream sundae. If you were to separate the sprinkles from the ice cream, does that make sense? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yours is a meal that's not meant to have separate ingredients be eaten separately. It's all meant to blend together. We also have feed your artist. Ooh, some of you are afraid of your creative expression, or it's in this lifetime that you learn that creative expression isn't just one solid thing. Creative expression can be in the way you move your body, in the way you operate, in the way you choose to express your wisdom. For example, I mentioned dancing because that was my main way of exercising. I'm very Piscean in that way. I have a lot of Pisces placements, so that forces me to have to express myself creatively. So for me, exercising was also something where I had to express my body in a creative way. So maybe for some of you, you're meant to do this. But even, for example, I'm thinking of sports. I'm thinking of let's take, for example, soccer or football. The way you play that game can also be an expression of creativity, the way you choose to go about this. And I feel like this is probably more for coaches because they have to, have a whole game plan layout. That makes sense here. That's a creative form of expression. It's more technical, of course, but you forget that it's also creative because you have to not just go based on, tried and true methods. You have to do something different in order to succeed, in order to be victorious. Again, yeah, this is a very interesting energy. I'm not even sure how many people are going to resonate with this because I don't typically get, sportsy analogies or even, physical analogies. But for those of you, yoga is another example. The way you express yourself in yoga can be very creative. Like maybe you decide to do different movements and that shows, I don't know. To me, yoga is creative in some way. I'm just trying to come up with something, but the way you move in yoga is an extension of how you are feeling. Like the movements you want to do right away, whatever comes more naturally to you, is something that your body is telling you. is what I'm seeing. Very interesting. But for a lot of you, you are marrying the mind, your intuition, and the body here. This is part of your life purpose. It may be the biggest life purpose for you, or it could be one of many. So take it as it resonates, pile 3. I'm loving this energy. I'm very curious to see what else is going on here. So let's move into the tarot to see what your life purpose is. And maybe some of you already do something in this line of work, so you know this is just resonating with you. For my pile 3, we are using, oh, where is she? So in this section, we're going to look at why you chose the life you chose, because the way we are born into this life is we make a contract with ourselves of things we are going to accomplish in this lifetime or attempt to. And then the other part of that is our freedom of will, what we decide to do. Sometimes we can choose to reject this contract or these specific agreed upon things. And then, of course, there are things that are fated in life and we're not really meant to outrun. For a lot of people, that's usually, having certain life experiences like children, for example. But let's go ahead and see why you chose the life you chose, pile 3. I'm kind of curious, though I'm really loving this energy. It's very positive. We have the 6 of Cups. This came out in pile 2 as well, but in a different way. For a lot of you, your childhood was not ideal, is what I'm seeing. We also have the 8 of Swords. Page of Wands. It's like you had to you wanted to be strong in childhood as an adult. Like you wanted to grow up to be a strong adult. But then you, like I said, you realized that strength meant something different. And the way I'm being shown that this childhood was, it's like either you were kept very quiet or people just like you were made to feel small in some way. Either you were kept quiet, people made you feel like you weren't worthy or strong enough, however the situation may be. We have the Star, and I forgot to, there we go. She is absolutely nude. You are meant to be a beacon of hope as well. Interesting that we have a lot of similar cards to pile 2. Some of you could be here from pile 2. Let's get another card. We have the Sun. A lot of you could work with children. And like I said, maybe you're a coach of some kind. If not children, then people's inner child workings, which would be more of that life coach energy here, or maybe even a therapist, something along those lines. Because I feel like in your youth, or maybe when you were younger, you just saw the world very differently. Maybe you felt very vulnerable, or you felt that you couldn't overcome certain things, but you were very determined early on to overcome those very specific things. I'm being shown a child who wanted to be strong, either to defend their mother or become the strong person like their father, depending on what the situation is. It's like you saw that, or maybe you wanted to be strong for your siblings, either to protect them or to be just like them. I see the family being a huge motivator here. Surprisingly, I'm seeing that the family was both parts good and bad. Like certain people were fine, but then you understood that certain situations within that family were not okay. Because like I said, I feel like you were restricted very young, and I'm not sure if that was within the household or if that was outside of the household, but you were made to feel small even though you weren't. Like your opinion didn't matter, or that you had no choice in a situation, or just a very strong sense of powerlessness here, pile 3. So this is where you decided to not just make yourself strong, but to help the people around you so that they wouldn't have to find themselves in that predicament. Because another example I'm being shown is somebody who maybe in childhood had a lot of broken bones, or, maybe you were bedridden for some time, like maybe you were very sick. And as you got out of this, it's like, I want to help people never feel this way again. I want to help people in that situation, which I have been, and show them that if they put their mind to it, they can overcome anything. I feel like the more spiritual or mental aspect of this physical thing that you do came along later in life, or as you got older, as you began to understand the inner workings here, and you understood that you needed to combine both, because it wasn't just one thing over the other. It's not just mind over matter. It's combining both of those and seeing how they affect each other. It wouldn't surprise me if you use, like, for example, the teachings of how chakras work and how they affect the body parts, if you understood that and kind of implemented into your work. With the Page of Wands, you are definitely meant to set out on something different here. I feel like again, it's this creative expression, but the way you express yourself creatively is just by being different from everybody else, and not in an in-your-face type of way either. This is somebody who doesn't like to stand out, Pile 3. You don't really like to stand out. You don't feel that you're more important than others, which is why I'm getting a lot of team energy. Like, you like to be part of a collective. You like to be part of a team, or at least you understand that your situation isn't more important than everybody else. You like to help everybody around you and make themselves better. I love this energy because you don't really have a true sense of like ego or anything like that. Even though we have the star here, this just signifies to me that you're a sense of hope to a lot of people. A lot of people look up to you and they feel very, very in debt to the things that you've taught them. The sun reversed again. You don't have a strong sense of self or ego. You might even lack a little bit of self-confidence, I'll be honest. And I think that would surprise a lot of people. And again, this goes back to your childhood wound. It's like, deep down, you're still that child within that was silenced or felt. You're still a little bit of that child that was made to feel small, even though you know you are not small, even though you know you're no longer that child. I feel like you kind of hold on to that child to remind yourself why you do this every day, to remind yourself why you have chosen this particular life purpose. It's very clear to me that a lot of you already know what your life purpose is, I'll be honest. This is my pile. I think you're just here for confirmation, or you're just here to see if this is something that could work out. Because like I said, you do a lot to heal the inner child, but you don't completely let that inner child go. And I guess this is where it's my turn to tell you that it's okay to tell that inner child that they're going to be just fine. I love doing inner child work where you go back to that person you were, to that little baby child, whatever age you were, and tell them that everything is okay and give them everything that they needed in that time when they needed it the most, I do this all the time, especially when certain childhood wounds just bubble up to the surface for no reason, or maybe there is a reason, but you don't notice it at the time. I love doing this, and it's very, very cathartic. It releases a lot of emotions, and I feel like you do this as well, or you will learn to do this because you chose the childhood you had so that you can go back and heal it and heal everybody else around you as well. Beautiful energy. Let's go ahead and get your life purpose though. This may or may not be the same as that in the oracle. For my pile 3, we have the King of Swords. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. This is you. Again, a lot of these came out in pile 2, but I'm getting a very different kind of vibe here. Like, you understood you had to overcome your mind. One of your life purposes is to overcome doubts within yourself, to overcome that inner critic within you that says you can't do anything or that you can't do certain things. Maybe some of you had very critical parents growing up as well. We have Everything is Fine. I love this card. It's a bonus card in this deck because this is typically the 10 of Swords, but here this is just your reminder that everything will be fine. And I feel like you're that one person who reminds everybody that everything will be fine, because if you look closely, she's actually texting. You would be that person in the group of friends who like text very positive things when everybody is going through something negative, or when they're like, when things are just rough. You send positive messages, you send encouraging words, you send good vibes, etc. You're that one friend that does that. And I feel like you're meant to be that person, even when things are the darkest, even when things are the most difficult. And it's hard to find the light, to find the silver lining, especially within a rough week. But I feel like you do this to your friends or to the people around you. You are meant to be that beacon of light, the star, the sun here. In fact, the sun is the star. Let me turn this over. The sun should never be reversed. Look at how happy this child looks on the horse. That's you, pile. That's you, pile 3. We have 9 of Pentacles. So if you want to be alone in this lifetime, you can. You're very sufficient onto yourself. This may or may not be my pile of people who don't really see dating as very important, which is interesting because in the previous pile, there was the opposite. There was definitely like a partner there, but here it's like whether you have one or not, you're fine. But I'm also seeing that you're very independent. You made it a point to not have to rely on anybody but yourself, because this is what you wanted, pile 3. You'd never wanted to have anybody, you'd never wanted to be dependent on anybody, just in case they decided to one day wake up and decide that either they don't want you anymore or that they had something negative to say about you. You very much value your independence here. Beautiful energy. That's not to say that you won't ever find anybody if you want somebody, pile 3. I'm just here to tell you that you are okay on your own, and you always will be. We have the 9 of Cups. Is she meant to be reversed, or... Well, either way, yeah, I think she wants to be reversed. But I will explain that in a moment. And then let's get one more card. The Empress. Another thing you're meant to overcome is this feeling of self-worth, the feeling that you are worthy of things, the feeling that you deserve good things. Pile 3, I am sending you so much love. So much love, because you do so much for people. You help people so much, and yet I can't help but see that there is this beautiful little inner wounded child that needs to be taken care of, that wants all this love. I urge you to do that very exercise that I just said, where you go back to your childhood self, get in a good meditative space, get into whatever it is that you need. If you do prayer, you could do that as well, but get into that space where you can go back to the loneliest you ever felt as a child, to the most hurt you ever felt as a child, and give that child version of yourself everything they needed at that time, whether it's a hug, whether it's attention. It's always the simplest things that they needed too as well. It was never, a trip to Disney World. It was never toys, candy, whatever. It was never that. What that child needed was love, attention, affection, a sense of validation, being told that everything is fine. This is why you do this to other people, because deep down you've always needed to be told that everything will be fine. And I'm getting so choked up here, pile 3, because oh my goodness, the fact that you are overcoming these things, the fact that you were able to heal yourself and want to do that for others is so beautiful. And this is, I do see some hyper independence here. I feel like this is one karmic lesson you will have to overcome in this life purpose, is to understand that you are so worthy of everything you want, because everything that is reversed, I want to turn back upright. You deserve everything you want. You're very much capable of being independent. You're very much capable of doing everything it is that you want and need. All you need is that extra boost of confidence. The Empress has shown up in every reading so far, letting me know that a lot of you might be struggling with a sense of self-worth, or this sense that you deserve something here, that you are worthy of everything that you wish for, that you are worthy for everything that you even worked hard for. Because it wouldn't surprise me if some of you have worked hard for things only for that to be easily taken away, or to lose it. And again, it's that feeling that you deserve it, and you deserve it so much, pile 3. You deserve all these beautiful things that are meant for you. I think especially you, because at the beginning it was hard to tap into, okay, what's the life purpose here? And it seemed clear cut, but the truth is there's still some deep inner healing here that you're clearly working on, because I know you wouldn't just let this slide by. You know there's something wrong, you're going to work on it. And it's so beautiful. I do see you reaping the rewards of your labor. And it's going to come at a time when you least expect it. I feel like it's all going to come with time. There's also something here about a gratitude practice for those of you who would like to work on that. Back of the deck we have Ace of Cups, and there it is, feeling that you deserve all the love that you ask for or that you want. Everybody deserves love, everybody. In whatever definition of love that is, it doesn't have to be romantic. I'm just talking about plain old love from the universe, plain old love from your mother's love, childhood love, whatever that love is, the love for yourself, self-love. This is what I'm talking about. So let's see some ways that you can overcome this, because there's the karmic lesson. Beautiful. Pile 3, how do we overcome the karmic lesson? So we have Six of Wands, victory. What did I say? Jai ho, victory to thee. That's what I keep getting. Like, victory is yours, pile 3, whether you realize this or not. And it's all a matter of overcoming this heartbreak. Maybe some of you break your own heart without realizing it. Maybe because you feel that you don't deserve it, that you will never get it. But I see you overcoming this so strongly, so vividly, and helping others succeed. You succeed yourself, and maybe that feeling of helping others is one way that you see victory within yourself. It's like, if you can help one person, then it will have all been worth it. There's a quote by Emily Dickinson about that, and I wish I'd had it with me, because I literally just wrote it down, and I meant to turn it into like a deck of quotes for my channel, but whatever. Yeah, if you can help one person, that will have meant everything to you, pile 3. I am getting that. We have the Two of Wands. Not knowing where to start, a sense of aimlessness even. And then Nine of Swords. This is all mental, honestly. This feeling that you don't deserve anything is all just in your mind over matter. We are learning to overcome the mind here in whatever way, shape, and form this may be. And I am sending you so much. I'm sending you the resolution to this. I know you will find this within 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, whatever, however long it takes. It will have been worth the wait, so that you can understand that you are deserving of all the beautiful things in your life, pile 3. I promise you. And I feel like for a lot of you, maybe this is more deep than you thought it would be. Maybe you thought you were fine until, boom, there it is. this feeling of lack of self-worth, because as a child you're trying to give everything yourself that you were refused to as a child, but you forgot to go more into the heart space and more into the mind, and to go back to that child and tell them, hey, look, we did it, and we have everything we need. This card specifically always gives me that feeling, because I like to think that this is a past version of this same lady here giving this child a cup of love. You know, give yourself that same love that you've always needed. Because in all the other decks that I have, tarot decks that I have, it's usually like a child of the same age giving each other, you know, the same cup. But here it's an adult looking at their past self and giving themselves that cup of love. I love it. I love this deck for that reason. Lots of self-healing. This is a self-healing journey for you, pile 3. So your life purpose was to remind your inner child that they are not alone, that strength means so many things, and they will learn this. Yeah, I'm seeing the Lion King now when Mufasa tells Simba that he was afraid, because fear isn't something scary up against him. It's the fear is him losing his son, you know. That's a beautiful movie, beautiful imagery in this entire pile. And I believe in you, pile 3. I know you will do this. I know you will overcome these insecurities, these fears. Just go do the inner child work. I promise your inner child will thank you immensely, because who better to love you than you know? Who better to parent you than whatever child version of you needed at that time? And you will know you will know what you need, you know, whether it's words of affirmation, just a hug, or just being there for that kid. You know, if you were that kid that, you know, you would go to your, I don't know, your ballet recitals or your sports things, and you would hope that your parents were there, but they never were, or a certain parent. Be there for you. Show up to that game. Show up to that game where you had hoped that parent would be. And then for some of you, this hit me so strong, I had to pause for a moment. If you had, like I said, critical parents, if you had parents that were critical to you, just shove them to the side. You know, you shove them to the side and tell that child everything they need to hear. It's like, hey, you did your best. You're going to be better tomorrow. Hey, you didn't win this time, but you will win next time. Hey, this was all. Did you have fun? Did you have fun with your friends? Did you enjoy this? This is all that matters. You know, tell yourself what you needed to hear, then pile 3. Because I think your parents tried, but maybe they didn't have the right things to say to you, because they themselves had never had to be in that situation. Whatever the case may be, tell yourself the things you needed to hear at that time when they were being critical to you, you know? And there is something here that if some of you are afraid of having kids, it's because you don't want to end up like your parents. I'm not saying that you should have kids, or maybe you do have kids and you're struggling with that, with the fear of becoming the very thing that you never wanted to become. Again, do your own inner child healing, and I feel like you will know the way after that. I strongly urge it. I may do a guided meditation along that, but oh my god, this I wasn't expecting this pile to get so deep, but here we are, pile 3. Let's move on to your closing advice. We have quantum jump 36. So some of you could be the age of 36, or that could be an important year or time for you. Quantum jump, I feel like this is when you quantum leap into certain things, and usually it's to the future. It's like jumping into that version of your future self that already has everything that they want. But I'm also seeing it backwards, because we're dealing with a lot of like past situations here. Quantum jumping to that moment in time where you felt the most broken, and healing that part of yourself. Very interesting, because I've never really seen it be used for going back. I'm sure it's a thing, but like I never thought about it that way. I think more about the future. We also have you are what you think. Again, you are what you mind over matter. Taming the mind. Taming that inner critic. Taming that voice of self-doubt here. That is so important here, pile 3. Let's get your spirit of animal cards. We have elk nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Again, success. Success victory here. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. Beautiful. You are capable of conquering all challenges. I think the hardest ones for you are not those that are physical or even financial. For you, it's that inner working within yourself. For you, it's the It's the past traumas that still creep up on you every now and then that maybe you thought you outran, but they're still with you. And it never hurts to go do some inner work just to completely overcome that, you know? It never hurts. And then we have the Affirmators Oracle for my pile 3 for their life purpose. I'm not sure if I answered anything about life purpose here. I feel like a lot of you already found it. It's just like that one last little, the more inner workings, the more mental, spiritual aspect of it, psychological aspect of it that we were focusing on here. So feel free to choose other piles if you want more clarity. We have power. I am strong. I am grounded. I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong. It doesn't need to do anything but be. Beautiful, like I said, grounded, strong, powerful. There's been a similar theme in some of these. So maybe you're coming from, I think pile 1 also had this card. Let's get another card. We have ownership. I take ownership for how I make others feel, and I do my part to repair any bridges I might have burned, or perhaps even slightly singed. If bridge mending feels impossible, I can start small. Instead of becoming a bridge architect, maybe I'll just skip the bridge and walk the long way around. Taking ownership is great for burning calories. Taking ownership of where you need to do your own healing, which I feel like this pile already does, honestly. But I feel like you never want to ever blame people around you. And this is beautiful energy, pile 3. Very mature energy as well. But this is where I leave it, pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you do that meditation of inner child healing, let me know how it goes. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the Prism Tarot, then we have a reading here for you for your life purpose. So you can do multiple life purposes. I definitely encourage you to choose as many piles as you like within this reading. I still don't know how many I'm going to do, but there is this feeling here of there's a different energy to this pile, that's for sure. But we are going to go into the oracles to see what some of your life purposes may be. It could be multiple, it could be one big one. What I've noticed is most of these piles have had multiple, or if it's like one big one, there's like a big specific situation that goes on within that life purpose. So we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and get your oracle cards to see what your life purpose is, or what one of your life purposes may be. We do have multiple in this lifetime because we kind of co-conspire with the universe to bring forth things that we definitely know we want to do within this lifetime, within this reincarnation, and then a combination of that and free will, like where we decide what to do with that specific goal or that specific purpose. I don't ever really see just one big life purpose. I see multiple within people is what I'm seeing right now. But maybe even this pile, we're only focusing on one, which is why I urge people to choose as many as they are calling to. We have soul on fire. You're meant to really feel your soul in this lifetime. With soul on fire, you're meant to have soul connections here, not just to people, but to things as well, like maybe certain creative projects, certain ideologies, maybe with nature, because I'm seeing, oh my goodness, who am I seeing? What's her name? Is it Mirabai? I don't know why her story is coming through here, but I think she was a queen, and correct me if I'm wrong, I might look for her story, but she was a queen who was very devoted to a particular god to the point where she felt she was married to him. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm not saying you're going to be that extremist pile. I just feel like you're meant to you're meant to be married to an idea here. Like you're really going to firmly believe in it. We also have creator, water. Oh, this is my pile of creatives. Or maybe you just have a lot of water within your astrological chart. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Though you don't have to be. You could also just feel very strongly a creative energy here. But you were definitely meant to bring something. I'm getting 5th house energy and I'm getting passion. So you're definitely meant to bring something forth in this lifetime here. This is my pile of creatives. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you are artists in some way, shape, or form. We also have Iron Man. What are you really protecting? What are you really protecting? Which is interesting because Iron Man has like a very specific soul calling as well. Like he's meant to create all these inventions. Very interesting. But he's also kind of I don't want to say he's a conflicting figure. I mean, he is, but I'm not calling you a conflicting figure here, pile 4. It's more like people have very strong opinions about you because you're just so, your energy, you're either so set in your ways or you just have a very strong character that it's going to be hard for people not to feel a certain way about you. Especially if you're a Scorpio, by the way, because people always say Scorpios, like people either hate them or love them. I'm not one of those. I'm very much in the gray area. I mean, there's certainly some that I have love-hate relationships with, but I don't know. But you could be like that. You could be a bit polarizing. We have illumination. You bring light to things which people don't typically see. And I love this landscape. Look at that. Like, I'm not sure if it shows up on the camera, but oh, that is beautiful. Back when I watercolored, I would do scenes like this a lot with like a forest and a beautiful sky. So maybe this is my pile of people who are very artistic as well. Let's get another card here. Interesting, the color palette we have. It's like this tealish gray and white. If we were to take Iron Man out of it. There we go. We also have taking risks. Ooh, interesting. I want to get more cards for you before we move on. Let's get the Gods and Goddess cards. Because this kind of goes with Iron Man. Some of you, maybe color theory is a big thing for you. The orange and the red and the yellow versus the blue. We have Ganesha obstacles. And then for the goddess, I'm going to go look up that story of Mirabai though, because it was very, I forget what deity she was dedicated to. I want to say it was a Hindu god maybe, and I'm not sure if it's Ganesha or not, but yeah. If you know, or you know a version of the story and you want to leave it down below in the comments, by all means do so. I'd be very, very appreciative. We have Isis, protection, obstacles and protection, taking risks. So whatever risk you take in this lifetime, pile 4, you're very protected, very divinely protected by the goddess Isis here. I do see you overcoming obstacles as well. Maybe for some of you, you feel that overcoming obstacles is a form of taking a risk. And I feel like in this lifetime for you, pile 4, it definitely is. Let's get another card. Isis to me is also the goddess of rebirth because she brings Osiris back from the dead. So again, oh, and that's another Scorpio feature. Yeah, lots of strong scorpionic energy here, but you definitely are meant to bring some sort of rebirth, either to a particular craft or to your own life. We have grateful optimism, joyous view of the future. A lot of you have a very, see, this is what I mean. Like, look at these colors if you can, like, they're very, a lot of you work with color. But with grateful optimism, you're meant to bring a sense of joy into this world in whatever way you can. For some of you, it could be through your artwork. Maybe you yourself might not be a very joyous person, but your artwork or the things you create bring a lot of joy to people. Like maybe you're really good at, for example, I know there's a lot of artists out there that create the funniest things or the cutest things. You know, they just have, their work speaks for them in that way, but they themselves may not be that way. Like maybe they're actually very quiet, or they keep to themselves, or they may not even laugh a lot, but the things that they create make people laugh a lot. I'm gonna get one more from this one. We have twin flame, soul partner, and eternal connection. Interesting. So some of you are meant to have a bit of a soul, the twin flame in this life, especially with Isis here, because like I said, her and Osiris's love is kind of it's kind of pivotal here. And is this it? I think so. I'm seeing somebody who's meant to create things and inspire people with this. I feel like certain things that you do are meant to be risks, not like dangerous risk, but I do feel that you're meant to overcome certain obstacles. With Ganesha here, you're meant to overcome them, and I feel like you were put in front of so many obstacles because you wanted to see how much you could accomplish in this lifetime. I am missing a card. Okay, I feel like this will give us like the final way you overcome these things. With eternal connection and soul partner, I'm not saying that you are meant to have a partner in this lifetime if you don't want it. This is very much an option, but this is one of your soul's journey, is to like, one of your soul's purposes is to find somebody that you really identify with and create something with them. This could be seen as, for example, I think of like I'm thinking of music, like how two people come together to create music and they become like a duo, or like, they're kind of known for working together. That's what I'm getting. So I feel like you are meant to find somebody that you vibe with in this lifetime and create something big with them. We have the unknown, void, quest, calling, 14. Look at this beautiful moth. And moth can be a sign of rebirth as well. Kind of like a butterfly. We also have fire element, energy, impulse, and ascendant. Again with the fire, a lot of you were meant to have a lot of fire within this lifetime. I think especially if you have a lot of water. It's like because you are born of water, you're meant to find the fire within your soul. Fire and water blending together here. I just can't help but look at these colors as well. There's like this orangey and then this bluish teal green color. So maybe for some of you, like I said, you work with color, you're very creative, you're very artistic. I do want to read from the book for Mirabai though, because I just happen to have it. This is from the Literary Witches Oracle, which I am not using in this reading at all. But I think this is where I learned about it. So, worship passion, the sublime. Instead of attending to her royal and wifely duties, Princess Mirabai wrote intense erotic devotional poetry to the god Krishna, whom she thought of as her lover. Her in-laws loathed her unconventional ways, and she miraculously escaped their poisoning attempts twice. When the in-laws tried to bring her back into the family, Mirabai spent the night at a Krishna temple and disappeared. Legend has it that she merged with Krishna's image that night, or continued on her spiritual pilgrimage in disguise. Interesting. Not saying that some of you will be that controversial, but with twin flames here, it's like you're meant to marry your work. You're meant to be devoted to something else entirely here. Because for a lot of you, I don't really know if it's a person. If it is, it will be somebody with your same views, your same ideas here. If not, it will be married to your ideas, married to your work, married to your creative endeavors. And I kind of love that, because it's like you're able to put your entire being into this. That could be the risk you take. It's like, I'm going to forgo all sorts of convention and just put myself fully into my creative aspects, especially with the unknown here, because I don't think anybody knows whether this will be something good for you or not. But I feel like it's like, what do you have to lose? A lot of you came into this life to live a little bit unconventionally, to live a little bit outside the box. After all, Iron Man, Tony Stark, is very much a man who doesn't really care what other people have to say about him. He just knows what has to be done, to the point where he sacrifices himself in the end. But for a long time, people thought he was selfish or weird, or, just, there were just all sorts of things here. But you also see that he's a very devoted person. He does end up having a family, and he becomes relatable even in some way. I feel like you do this as a sense of like, you came to this life to live something very differently, something that a lot of people don't understand. Because even I myself, as I'm reading this, I mean, no offense, Pile 4, but it's like, I understand the passion and the devotion, but it's like you have a higher calling, and it may not even be to have, for example, a family, or to have children, to have like a 9 to 5. I don't think you were meant for that. You were meant to fully dedicate your life to your passions, to your vision, to your creative projects and endeavors. I'm also being shown like Emily Dickinson, who is also part of this Literary Witches book. I don't want to read for her, but there were a lot of women back in the day who all they would do is write and study, and people didn't really find this too threatening, because they're like, oh well, they're just reading and writing, at least they're staying out of the way. But in doing that very thing, they were asserting their own independence from whatever expectations society had set upon them to, marry, be a mother, support a man, etc. And I feel something very similar for you here, Pile 4. Even if you're a man, I feel like you still might be doing this. Like maybe your parents want you to settle down and do whatever, but you wanted to live a life fully, and you wanted to do whatever it is that you wanted here. I just feel like it's more powerful when a woman does it. Not saying that it's not as important when a man does it, but it all depends on your situation here. It all depends on what your own community's expectations of you were. But for you, twin flame means something else. For you, twin flame is finding either that which calls to your own soul, or finding people with a similar mind and mentality here. I mean, just look at the colors here. It's like this orange and this blue and then white in the middle. So it's very interesting that some of you were meant to just live it could be a very spiritual life as well, because this is making me think of, I know sometimes people see the light as either blue or orange, and like they come together, and this is like the masculine and feminine, the positive, negative, the yin, the yang. blending together. You were definitely meant to have a very ascended kind of life here, to the point like where I said I have a hard time understanding it, but I definitely respect it. It is so, this is pretty awesome, pile 4. So one of your life purposes is to continue being misunderstood, because you know you understand yourself and you know that you're meant to just live life the way you want to. You definitely have a lot of free will in this lifetime. And I think you're able to afford to live the life you want as well. Maybe you come from a background of privilege, or maybe you just have enough privilege to be able to pull this off as well. Interesting, because Iron Man, very privileged, you know, he's very wealthy. Same thing with Mirabai, which we just read about. You know, she married into a family, but she didn't really care about who she married. She just wanted to do her own thing. Very interesting. So regardless, pile 4, this could easily be my Aquarius or Sagittarius pile as well. Maybe Gemini. I got a little bit of Gemini with this lady here. But let's go ahead and move on. If this sounds like you, if this sounds like a soul's purpose that you're meant to have and that you would, or that you would like to have, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because I'm very curious to see what the tarot has for you here. Because the other piles, they had a more, I mean, I don't want to call it conventional, but it was more clear-cut. It was more human. Because like I said, we choose to be reincarnated into this world as humans on Earth for a reason. And I feel like out of all the piles, you would question that more than anything. It's kind of like this, I'm using this as an example, Ariel in The Little Mermaid. Like, if she was meant to be a human, why was she born as a mermaid? To be yearning to be human, you know? That's what I'm kind of getting. Maybe some of you felt that you were a whole different species in a different lifetime. This might be your first time being human and you're kind of like regretting it. Take that as it resonates. Maybe you were a mermaid in a past life or something similar, or maybe even just like a different creature. You definitely live in your soul a lot more than your body. So why did you choose to be reincarnated into this lifetime? Why did you choose this lifetime? Why did you choose Earth? We have the Six of Swords. Refugee energy for some reason. Transition. I mean, this could also be my pile of trans people. Again, it's like you question why you were born a certain way if you were meant to choose something else. Take that only if it resonates. I know that's not going to be for everybody. We also have the Queen of Swords perspective. You wanted to see a different way of viewing things. You wanted to experience something different. You definitely live in your mind more than anything. Also, you're very intelligent. Like, people may confuse some of your creativity or your weird unconventional ways for something else, but the truth is that you think very differently from most people. We have the Three of Swords, heartbreak in reverse. I'll explain all of this once I get all these cards out. The High Priestess. Yeah, you live in your mind and in your intuition more than anything. And the Four of Pentacles. I'm seeing, this is so interesting. So I'm seeing you before you're reincarnated, and it's kind of like you wanted to move away from something. You wanted to move away from a certain energy. You wanted to outrun it. And it's like the one way you could do this is if you were reincarnated into something physical. Like a human body on Earth. And this is what you wanted. You wanted a certain sense of security. You wanted to experience, for example, human-like things like Earth, nature, the body here, because you were trying to run away from a certain feeling. And maybe you still do this in this lifetime. Like, you thought that having a body would help you run away from your feelings, but the truth is that you still have to live with those feelings, but trapped inside a human body. So this is kind of a bit like Three of Swords reversed. It's kind of like you thought it would be better, but it turns out it's just the same. But now you're being asked to confront this in a way that you understand. So you take to art, you take to your ideas, you take to whatever is not really, you take things that cannot be translated physically and attempt to translate them physically. So this would be taking inspiration and turning it into some sort of artwork or some sort of creative project, maybe a feeling, maybe a sound for those of you who are musicians. I'm getting very strong energy of you being very creative here. With the Queen of Swords, again, you're very much in your mind. You're very intelligent. Maybe you also create things, like you may work a lot with AI in a very oddly intuitive way. You know what's interesting? I've always considered the Queen of Swords to be the most intuitive out of all of the queens, even though some people may argue that it's more like the Queen of Cups because she's very in her emotions. But to me, the Queen of Swords, has enough clarity and detachment and neutrality within her mind to allow intuition to come through. At least that's how I've always seen it. So maybe some of you are very intuitive when it comes to certain things. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is my pile of like very strong psychics, but you may not even promote that psychic awareness within you. Like you wouldn't really share that with everybody, but you definitely are. That's what I'm getting for some of you. Like yeah, it's interesting. Maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you actually are like, the conventional psychic with her cute little house on the side of the road with your little neon sign and everything. That's very adorable. I kind of like that. Like that's a vibe. But for some of you, you don't. Maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you hide this because you have a hard time explaining to people how you know the things you know. A lot of you feel like I don't even know what to call it, like a spiritual being, and you feel like you're a refugee from some other world and you're stuck in this human body, in this human existence. And it's very cute. I'll be honest. Like, I think this is adorable. I feel like you find it hard to vibe with certain people because if you were to explain certain ideals or mentalities that you have, they would not understand you. So you may keep to yourself a lot. Maybe your group of friends is very closed off, or you have very, very open-minded friends. Only the ones who can understand this. It's very interesting. But you came to this lifetime, you chose this lifetime because you wanted a sense of security. You wanted to experience the human body. It wouldn't surprise me if your human body doesn't really reflect how you feel because you don't know how to work with it. Or maybe you're getting used to it and you're like developing, for example, the need to exercise or the need to eat certain healthy foods. Something along those lines. It's like, how does a human body work? Like, what do you do with it? Please help. All I know is my feelings and my thoughts and my beautiful little inner world. That's what I'm getting from this pile. It's so cute. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not even judging. I just think this is adorable. Pile 4. Let's go ahead and get your life purpose though. So why are you here other than to create beautiful, expressive things for the world to vibe with? I do feel you were meant to bring a strong sense of a high vibration to this world. You were meant to bring things that not a lot of people see and to inspire people through this. You're very intuitive, also perceptive. I'm thinking of like INFPs or what's the other one? INFJs. Maybe you're always like right between F and P, perceptive and feeling, because you're both. I'm sorry for the background noise, pile 4. Because you're both. Maybe some of you are also, I'm getting the sense that some of you might also be like on the autism spectrum, but you don't feel like you are. You just feel like, nah, I'm just me, and I don't like that people have to put me on this. Very interesting energy. But let's go ahead and see your life purpose. So pile, ooh, the Magician reversed. Interesting. 5 of Swords. Lots of Swords energy. This definitely has to be like my air pile, Aquarius. I almost said Pisces. Maybe you're on the Aquarius Pisces cusp, but Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. We have the Queen of Pentacles, practicality. 2 of Pentacles, priorities. And the King of Swords. Interesting. So look at all the green and purple here. Very intuitive. Also lots of swords and earth energy. So you were meant to teach people that they can actually do with their life whatever they want and to not feel ashamed about it. It's so interesting. Like, you live your life so unabashedly and you don't care what people have to say about this. Sorry, I'm having a hard time translating this because I understand what you're saying, but to put it into words, because this is definitely not my own mindset. But like, you were meant to put certain things into motion here to teach people to do the things that they want to do. It's like, I'm hearing, hello earthlings, this is how we actually do stuff, and you can learn this. Maybe some of you have a little bit of like alien genetics in you as well. Interesting. Interesting. We have the 5 of, I swear, this is, sometimes I get piles where I swear like people may think I'm crazy, but maybe you understand this and that's okay. But the 5 of Swords, defeat, it's like you're meant to teach people how to live their life differently. You're meant to teach them how to alchemize their world to make it suit themselves. Like, you're meant to teach people how to live differently because you live differently. You expect others to do so as well. Like I said, you're a very polarizing person here, pile 4. Because some people would agree with you, like, this is awesome. And then some people, especially more like traditional, conventional people, would find this hard to believe. Like, I could definitely, like, I'm a Taurus, so I could definitely see myself like disagreeing with some of the things that you have to say, but at the same time very much as a spiritual intuitive person, I respect this and I love this, and I actually do agree with some of this. Queen of Pentacles, you're meant to implement some of these crazy things that you come up with as something practical, believe it or not. Like, you're like, in people's minds, it seems out of left field, it seems very weird, but to you, it's very practical. It's like, actually, no. What I'm meant to teach you is very practical. You just see it as odd because you've never thought about it before. You are so brilliant, Pile 4. Like, I can't think of I can't think specifically what it is that you would teach, but I can see how you are attempting to teach this. And people are just like, not really. Like, a few decades ago, this would have been like the mindfulness movement. Like, you would have been trying to teach people mindfulness, but a lot of people, especially even just a few decades ago, did not believe in mental wellness or mental well-being. Like, you could see how they would have a large pushback. Maybe you've studied things like, for example, Jose Silva's mind control method, in which you visualize things and you make them come true. Maybe you teach meditation of some sort. A lot of you would be really, really great at teaching things like meditation. That's definitely something you're meant to do in this lifetime for people. Or maybe even sound healing, like frequency, energy sound healing is something you could do here. Because the Two of Pentacles is setting things in balance. You were meant to bring a big, strong change to this world because you see that the world really needs it. And I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if you were born into areas, or if you keep finding yourself in areas that don't really resonate with you, because you are meant to be the change there. You're meant to be a very strong change and influence. And again, that would explain the pushback you get sometimes, because your ideas to the people around you, not to everybody, but to the people around you, they're very polarizing. With the King of Swords reversed, intellect, it's like whatever people thought was intellect, whatever people thought was intelligence, you're here to turn that around and be like, no, actually, it seems intelligent for people in their train of thought, and because that's what they're used to. But the Queen of Swords versus the King of Swords here, first of all, great showdown. I want to see how that works, because you have intuition on your side. You have this perceptiveness. The King of Swords, you're meant to upend the status quo. You're meant to really make people shift the perspective of how they think, to really get their mind going, to change their way of thought, especially those who are very stubborn about it. Very interesting. And honestly, Pile 4, I am sending you so much love and protection, because I can see that for a lot of you, you may actually be involved in like social causes, social change causes, maybe even politics for some of you, because you feel the need to change the world in such a strong way. I could see you being a master of debates as well. Five of Swords, you're not afraid of getting into it verbally with anybody, because you know how to say exactly the things that you need to say at the right time. Very interesting. A lot of you would do really well in like in law, or anything where you have to defend people's rights. I'm hearing barrister for some of you, which is interesting because I don't even really know what they do. But you would be really good at defending people's rights. I feel like that's going to be your biggest purpose in this life. Of course, if this doesn't resonate, it could just be something on a smaller scale. Maybe you're just helping people out with, with very extreme circumstances. Like, for example, a social worker helping, families in need is what I'm getting. Again, because you live your world so differently, it just makes sense that you're there to be a source of change, a cause for change here as well. A lot of respect for this, because I can feel like, honestly, this energy to the average person is very mentally draining. But for you, Pile 4, for you, this comes very naturally. Like, this is not something that is too heavy for you, even though for somebody like me it is. Back of the deck, we have the Three of Cups, community. You're meant to build a community here. And I meant this to be a karmic lesson, but I feel like you don't need to hear about karmic lessons. You know enough about them. You probably live them on a more regular basis than most. So I kind of want to see what the sense of community is. I want to see who your supporters are and how they will help you. Because I do feel this is somebody who, either you already have a very strong sense of support, because I don't feel like somebody like you could just have nobody and not have, you would have people around you who at least understand you and support you. Like I said, your group of friends is very small. We have Temperance reversed. We have Just Breathe. Yeah, I love this. Healing energy. A lot of you could actually do a lot of breath work. Maybe this is something you teach people as well. Like, to some people, breath work is just something silly, but to you, it's like, no, it regulates your, whatever the mental workings, the emotional workings are. So I feel like you do this for people. We also have the Six of Pentacles, generosity, but I'm seeing it as balance again. The Two of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles are major. Even Temperance. These are all cards of balance. You are meant to bring balance into this world. I'm actually seeing the Avatar. Avatar the Last Airbender. In fact, in the oracles, we had those two colors, like the blue and the orange yellow, which is what you see whenever he goes into the Avatar state. Or is it the Avatar state? You see it somewhere in the show. I think I might be thinking of something else, but that's what I'm seeing. You're meant to bring balance into this world in your own way. We also have the Nine of Wands, resilience. You're very resilient. Like I said, where most people find the things you do very exhausting, you don't. In fact, you might get some fire out of this. You might gain a sense of purpose here. One way you ground yourself is through helping people out with their problems and through being a very strong force of change here. We also have, yeah, there it is, the Hanged One, surrender, to change people's perspectives, to show them that things are different. My God, Pile 4, this energy is just something else. Like, I don't even know how to put it into words, but I hope I managed to do so. I hope you understood half of the things I said, because you're meant to be such a strong force of change in this world, to the point where people don't even believe that you're human, because you've gone through so much, and because you, again, you feel so differently from people around you. Very beautiful as well. Lots of air energy. So like I said, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. A little bit of everything, honestly, here. But let's go ahead and move on to your closing advice. We have the affirmators. For my Pile 4, we have life is art. There we go again with artwork. I see my entire life as a work of art, and I choose to be the artist creating it. Rather than sit around as a passive audience member, I pick up a pen and write my own story. That means every day is an act of creation. As I constantly strive to be the sort of hero who fearlessly follows their bliss, curates beautiful non-toxic relationships, and almost always resists having a donut. Have that donut, Pile 4, you deserve it. Let's get your Animal Apothecary card. For a lot of you, you could do this with your artwork in general. If Banksy is seeing this, oh my God, please email me. If Banksy is seeing this, I'm like, who is, then that makes sense. Maybe you look up to Banksy because he's very, like, very polarizing, you know? Some people hate his artwork, or her, whoever this person is. And some people are just like, dang, that makes sense. But it's very public and very just out of nowhere. Or maybe you could work for, what's that company? What's that place? Is it Meow Wolf? Wolf Meow? Something like that. They're in North America, and they create like these really awesome, I don't even know what to call them. They're not museums, but like these awesome artworks. Maybe you're just, man, maybe some of you did like experimentation with certain substances and you never saw life the same way again. Not saying that I condone that for legal purposes here, but like that would make a lot of sense here, Pile 4. Oh, I love this. Okay, we have actions lead to success. Yeah. Oh, we have dragons here. Some of you could be Year of the Dragon. I was feeling that very strongly, actually, because I know a lot of you are the dragon people, and they come off as like highly unconventional. Salvador Dali was like this. He was Year of the Dragon, and I mean, you know, his artwork is surrealist, and people truly love that. So maybe some of you are really into surrealism in some way, shape, or form. Okay, let's get your last card, which is the Spirit of the Animals card. For my Pile 4, this has been the most fun one for sure. Like, this energy was interesting. Ooh, we have Butterfly Rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Look how beautiful. Look, okay, you've had the most colorful and like your color palettes in this reading have been so beautiful, because look at all these purples and greens and pinks, like they just all match. This is definitely my pile of creatives and artwork, and if you would like me to see your artwork and stuff, then by all means share it with me. I would love to appreciate what the things that you create. But yes, you are not afraid of rebirthing yourself, of reinventing yourself. Maybe you reinvent yourself with certain types and structures of art or something visual here every day. Like even the way you dress, maybe there's a particular color palette that goes really well with you. I see people like that, like my very creative types that they just know how to dress for like their season, or they know how to dress for like their aesthetic. Some people are really good at that. I'm not. I just throw on whatever's on. But like I love and appreciate this energy so much. So yeah, your life purpose: to be creative, to create art, and to shape people's minds with it. So thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 2. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm so curious about this pile. Let me know if this is you down in the comments. Yeah, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the Wild Unknown Tarot, then we have a reading here for you about your life purpose, or at least one of your life purposes, to see what you are meant to do within this lifetime. We're going to use the oracles to see what some themes of your life purpose may be. And of course, we're going to go into the tarot to go more in depth. And in the tarot specifically, I'm going to see why you chose this particular life that you were born into, to see how that affects your life purpose as well. And of course, feel free to choose more than one pile. A lot of these piles have been very different and very diverse, and we do have multiple life purposes in this lifetime. So for my pile pile 5, let's go ahead and get your cards, your oracle cards, to see what the themes here are. I keep hearing the lyrics from a song, you have no right to make me suffer. This could be my pile of people who learned at some point in life that we were not meant to suffer within this lifetime. Even though there are plenty of things to suffer over in this life, we were not meant to do that. We were not meant to stay in that energy. Interesting. So let's go ahead and get your cards. Pile 5. We have flow. Going with the flow. It's interesting because most flow cards tend to be blue, but this one is very specifically purple. I'm not sure if you can tell on the screen there. We also have success. So you are meant to have success in this lifetime, just as a little aside, I feel like, regardless. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards for pile 5. We have, storm, unleash the thunder. And Winter Soldier, forever by your side. Okay, this is my ride or die pile for sure. There's something here about you. Let me get the rest of the cards, because I kind of want to say you're ride or die, but there's something else here coming through, and I don't want to say it unless like the cards also confirm it. But I do get the sense that a lot of you are actually meant to help people on their success, but that doesn't mean that you don't have success on your own. I feel like in you helping others, you also gain your own success, if that makes sense. We have hypno sleep. Some of you could have visions in your dreams. Like this could be my pile of people who have prophetic dreams or future insight dreams. A lot of loyalty here with Bucky, the Winter Soldier, though. Lots of loyalty. We also have Oya, power, and Pele, purpose. Interesting. Whoever it is that is meant to be in your life, pile 5, they will gain a lot of success, because with Storm, Pele, and Oya here, I'm being shown, I don't know why I'm thinking of like Michelle Obama or any first lady who has really been like a powerhouse behind her partner. I say her because these are female figures, but it could also be a man. Like you're meant to really empower the people around you to help them through to success. And in turn, you become part of that success as well. It's like the success of my people is also my own success. Because Storm, I'm kind of thinking of how she was revered as a goddess in her, wherever she was from in Africa. I forget where specifically she's from and what her village is. So if you know what this is, then let me know. But I remember she was seen as a goddess. So she's always carried herself with a sense of self-worth, a sense of self-importance. Her power is something so undeniable to her. Like she understands her worth. And maybe some of you were also, either you were born this way or you took like a specific journey of the soul to gain this confidence. Because I'm getting the same thing with Pele here. It's like your confidence comes through the fact that you know you have a sense of purpose. And with sleep and forever by your side, it's kind of like you understand that you are meant to help people through, even in times when they are not fully awake. Maybe you are meant to awaken people as well to their life purpose. And in turn, that helps you out, because I'm seeing a very symbiotic relationship here. Like, you are not just one person, you are part of a whole. So you could easily be part of a community, but I'm also seeing, or maybe like a small group of people, or even just like with a partner, you're meant to create things here. But you are still a force onto yourself. Like, I'm not seeing codependency. I see that your own individual strength really strengthens the people around them. So you could go solo here if you wanted and still find the success, or you could be part of the community and bring them success. Very interesting energy for sure. But you are meant to have such a strong sense of self-confidence, power, purpose here. I love this energy, really. Let's get more cards for you, pile 5. We have Divine Mother, nurturing, compassion, and grace. Yeah, I was getting that. Like, a lot of you are definitely meant to be mothers in this lifetime, or to nurture the people around you. You don't have to take that, by the way, if you don't want kids. If you know for a fact you don't want kids or can't have kids, and that could be the case. But maybe you also nurture the people around you. I'm specifically seeing people more than, for example, animals. So, of course, you could have pets as well. Let's get one more card from here for my pile 5. We have Death and Rebirth, Darkness to Light. Interestingly, we have another, I want to say they're all like either jaguars or Black Panthers, but this black wildcat, this could be like an important figure to you. But there's such an interesting energy here. Darkness to light and light to darkness. I feel like you're meant to bring a light to people. I feel like you're meant to illuminate something here, especially with hypnosleep. Maybe you're a hypnotherapist. Maybe you help people out in that way. Or hypnotherapy could be a big thing for you. Or even energy healing, because sometimes that can feel like hypnotherapy. If you've ever been in a really, really deep energy healing session and you just don't even know what's going on, you just feel like the release of energy, that's what that makes me think of. So maybe both of these things are part of your life purpose, pile 5. But you are meant to empower the people around you in whatever way it is meant to be. You're also very, very passionate. I'm getting like strong Leo energy, but even if you're not a Leo, you have that passion within you, because Storm and Pele, very strong, powerful women. And they all work with the elements as well. I'm not too familiar with Oya, but I know Pele and Storm. Storm is not a goddess, but she is, really awesome. She's like an awesome figure in the X-Men and Marvel. But they both work with the elements. Pele with lava, of course, she is the goddess of volcanoes, and then Storm with thunder. So there is something rather like very powerful and magnetic about you. You could literally work with the elements, or maybe you associate yourself with a specific element. And then with Death and Rebirth, I'm also getting strong Scorpio energy, because there is something intense about this energy. With sleep, again, I mean, sleep isn't an element, but maybe you work with sleep magic or dream magic, something along those lines. Or like I said, you could just have very prophetic dreams. I know I have, and it's very common for people, especially those who are intuitive, to receive messages in dreams. And whenever I read up on things like the Oracle of Delphi, there was a specific type of oracle who she was like, I'm not sure if she was given herbs or not, or if she was given something like a tea to get in a trance, but she would go to sleep and then wake up and report her findings. I swear I used to do that in a past life. Maybe some of you used to as well, because whenever I read about that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I would go to sleep. I would be the kind of person that if I needed spiritual guidance, I would like make myself go to sleep and dream and like write down my situation. You could also keep a dream journal. That could be of importance here. I used to, but then I fell out of it. Maybe I should. But anyway, pile 5. I feel like I would be friends with you. I love this energy so much. Let's go ahead and get more about your life purpose. Also, flow and Pele being the goddess of lava makes me think of how lava flows. Because usually when we think of flow, we think of water, but we forget that things like lava can flow. Even electricity here, or lightning, whatever it is, it has its own flow. It's more jerky and static. Like, it's a different type of flow, but there's something here about the elements flowing to you. I feel like part of your life purpose is to go with the flow in whatever way that flow shows up. Interestingly, some of you could be very tied to the ocean as well. I'm going to read from the book for Oya, just because I want to know what her whole thing is, just because I'm already getting similarities here. We have equanimity. You know what? I was talking about flow, and look at like how she looks like she's flowing. We have loving awareness, acceptance, and ease, equanimity. Ooh, I love this. Some of you could have like long dark hair too, because both of these ladies have long dark hair, or maybe darker skin as well, which I usually don't pay attention to looks here, but the fact that a lot of these women look very similar is kind of letting me know something. Even like these women, Well, these are from the same deck, but still. Let's get more cards, or one more card from this deck, and then the Sacred Creators from my pile 5. We have water element. I'm not surprised. Emotion, intuition, imum kole, which is the where the 4th house is in astrology, which is your roots, your home. So something about family here. Yeah, you're very loyal. Forever by your side, loyalty, flow. You will bring your people to success. Divine Mother. Yeah, especially if you have kids, you will bring them up to be successful, outstanding members of society. Like, these are going to be kids with good jobs, or at the very least, they're going to be good people. Like, there's not going to be much negative things to be said about your kids, regardless. This is only if you already have them, because I feel like for this pile, you will. Just because you think of these 2 little panthers as babies. But let's get one more card for my pile 5. We have raw intention. Ooh, and look how this goes with that. Yeah, like, this is my pile of ride or dies. Like, you've got such an intense energy, but it's that same intense energy that fuels and powers people to find either their purpose, their reason for doing things, their very being. Like, if you're a supportive role within a connection, your partner fully appreciates you for how strong you are for them. Like, I feel that very strongly. Or even if you're the one who takes the lead in a relationship, people really appreciate the intensity at which you do things and how much you fight for people and do for people. So it is part of your life purpose to empower those around you, for sure. Whether it's just your friends, family, your partner. I feel like everybody, but maybe you don't focus too much on yourself, though you should. Or even if you, or maybe you do focus a lot on yourself and you have more than enough to give to everybody else around you. Red is definitely one of your colors because it stands out so prominently. So interesting that I'm talking a lot about physical appearance in this particular pile. Let's go ahead, and maybe one of your life purposes is to like do something that has to do with physical appearance. So I'm thinking of fashion and beauty. Take that only if it resonates. But like I said, let me read for Oya. Thank God I looked at the book, because pile 5, do you know what Oya is the goddess of? She is the goddess, she's the ferocious Stormbringer. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what Storm was based off of, because I'm pretty sure the mythology of Oya goes way back. This is so interesting. Oh my God. Ooh, the chills I got. Yeah, there's something here about storms. Oya, the goddess of the storm, and Storm, the woman who was seen as a goddess. Maybe that's what they called her. Oh my God, I've never looked this up. It's been a while since I went on, like, you know, a good old X-Men reading or research, because X-Men was my first fandom. But anyway, let me read from the book. Change is welcome. Allow the storm to pass, as it is necessary to clear the way. You are protected in your search for equality. Do not misuse your power. She's Oya, the Yoruban, horned goddess of power, directing the storm like the conductor of an orchestra. Wife of Shango, the storm god. Ooh, she's the wife of a storm god. But yeah, you can associate her with storms as well, a force of nature. For a lot of you, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. For a lot of you, it is your life purpose to have a powerful partner in this lifetime, or to be a powerful counterpart to a partner. Either you or your partner will be powerful, definitely power couple for sure. It's part of your life purpose. And I hesitated because I know not everybody cares about romance and not everybody cares about relationships. Some of you are going to choose to be single for life. I still see that here. So, but should you choose to be in a relationship, you will bring a lot of power to not just your partner, but your family and the people around you. Whether this is because you yourself have an intensity that you can't help but contain, and that energy like overflows to everybody around you, or if it's because you level people up somehow, you hype them up, you bring them up some way to be more than they could ever think. With Divine Mother, Death, and Rebirth, this is a very intensive mother. I am kind of getting quote, quote, tiger mom vibes just because of these wildcats, even though I know they're not tigers. Or tiger dad, tiger parent. Regardless here, I'm trying not to genderize, but you can take this whichever way. I feel like you're meant to have a very powerful partner, or be a powerful counterpart to a partner who is of equal power to you. And anybody who ends up with you, pile 5, is going to be so grateful. In fact, I think only somebody who would really understand and value your worth and input into what you do would be with you. It's going to be very rare, the relationship that you have. There was a group similar to this, or that had something about relationships as well. Not all of them did, but it wouldn't surprise me if you came from that particular group as well. Interesting, the numbers we have here. We have 3719. 37 twice. My God, maybe 37 is a particular important age here for you, either when you have children or get married, something along those lines. But we also have 2 and 22, which is a number of counterpart energy. Maybe some of you are coming from pile 2 as well. In fact, it might be pile 2 that had this kind of energy. But oh my God, pile 5, it is your life purpose to build up the person you love, the people you love, for sure. You bring power to them. And it's so beautiful, really, when you think about it, because people don't understand that behind every powerful, it's like that quote, like, behind every powerful man is a woman who supports them, etc. Again, you can change the gender, switch the genders if it feels to fit your specific situation and orientation here, but you are definitely the powerhouse behind the person that makes them strong. You know, you're the reason they wake up every day. You're the reason, like, if it wasn't for you and the advice and guidance and energy that you put into it, I don't think they would be the person that they are. Same thing with your kids. They're going to be very in debt to the kind of person that you've been. You are so strong and it overflows. Yeah, that's why we have this flow here. The Hypno Sleep card, though, is so interesting. Again, it could be prophetic dreams. Maybe we'll get a little bit more into that, but let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. If this resonates with you, which, my God, if it does. Beautiful energy. It is part of your life purpose to empower the people around you, romantic or otherwise. Familial for sure, friends for sure. With family, I do see more of your own family than, like, for example, extended family. So pile 5. We're using the Wild Unknown, and this is one of my favorite decks. I think it's one of my more intuitive ones as well. Not saying that, you know, some decks are more intuitive than others. It's just when I work with this one, I don't know. I love it. Okay, pile 2. So the first row is going to be why you chose this lifetime. Why specifically you chose this life path, this life purpose. We have Ace of Swords, to bring something new. And again with the lightning here. The Magician reversed. Interesting, we have more wildcats, because the Magician isn't a wildcat in all of the in all tarot decks. We have the Devil. You wanted to bring something unjust, like you were meant to bring down something that is unjust, because the Devil I'm seeing is like, quote the forces of evil. This has to be my pile of people who like comics or something like that, or like superhero movies. But you were meant to bring down something that was unfair to people, because I'm seeing the Devil here as bully energy. We have the Six of Pentacles, especially when it comes to things that are unfair. It wouldn't surprise me if part of your life purpose is to overcome something and to help the community at large with a partner that you have. The Empress reversed. The Empress has come out in every single reading, I want to say. Every single reading. Well, was it in the last one? I don't remember, but almost all of the readings have had the Empress in some way, shape, or form, letting me know that everybody here, their life purpose so far has been to overcome this feeling of lack of self-worth, to honestly stepping into your divine feminine energy, or finding your divine feminine energy, depending on who you identify as here, is part of your life purpose. You chose this life because you understood that there was something unfair about it to begin with. Like, you came into this life knowing that some of the quote evils of the world, or the unfair things of the world, were just like, people had accepted it, and you were like, no, I don't want to accept that. I don't want to see that. So you definitely made it a point to strengthen yourself, to strengthen the people around you, so that they could advocate for themselves, so that they could bring change in the world. Like, I'm seeing, for example, I'm seeing somebody here. You're definitely somebody who, whenever you see an injustice, or whenever you see somebody getting taken advantage of, you tell them, it's like, no, that's not how it should be. Either you do it for them, or you tell them how they should be treated fairly. So it's very interesting. This energy is just so badass. A lot of this energy has been, by the way, in all of these piles, and they've all been so different, but still some of them have like resonating themes. The Magician reverse lets me know that you were meant to learn how to obtain power in this particular life, but to not go overboard with it, because the Devil is like controlling energy. So to find the fine line between power and control, like, you don't want to control people, but you want the power to influence them to do better. You want the power to be so that they know how to do better for themselves, to set all this off balance energy into balance. Like, you don't want people to get taken advantage of, and you want to see justice in this world. I'm getting that with the Ace of Swords as well. It's like you came into this world knowing how full of injustices it was. You chose Earth because you wanted to set things right. Like, it doesn't surprise me that, you know, the superhero energy especially is very strong here. Maybe you loved that kind, maybe you like those kinds of stories growing up and you kind of loved that, you know, um because you definitely have a very strong sense of morality, and maybe at one point you really didn't. Maybe you have a little bit of a shady past, again, to learn how to overcome that. I'm thinking of how, you know, sometimes it takes a thief to catch one, you know. That's what I'm kind of getting. So I don't feel like that era of your life lasted very long, or if it did, it was something you didn't choose to get into. You kind of just found yourself there. In fact, Storm, sorry I keep bringing her up, I just know a lot about X-Men. I grew up with X-Men, but at one point she was also a thief, but then she became, you know, she went back to her goddess roots, knowing that she is very much very powerful and able to help people with it. And she doesn't see the people she helps as beneath her. She sees them as, like, you know, her children, her people, so that she can help them. So it's like she doesn't believe herself above them. She just knows that she has a power and she has to use it for good. Yeah, Empress energy here. In fact, in the Marvel tarot, which I don't know if I'm going to use that yet in this particular reading or not, because I don't know how many piles I'm making. She's actually the High Priestess. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to your life purpose, another life purpose you may have, or maybe an elaboration on what it is that you're meant to do. Yeah, look how this cheetah is wanting to come after this goat. And cheetahs could definitely take down goats, like, that's for sure, even with these menacing horns. Because at first it came out reversed. It's like, I don't know what to do. But then it's like, oh, I know what to do. How silly of me. I'm a predator and they're the prey. Let me take this goat down because they're evil. That's what I'm getting. But anyway, let's go ahead. And I say good and evil just because I feel like there's a strong sense of morality for this particular pile. Like, you know what is good and what is bad. And I mean, there might be some gray areas here and there, but, like, in the end of the day, I feel like this particular group has a strong sense of justice. So we have death reversed. Yep. You are meant to bring change here, change within people. Again, death and rebirth. We have the sun. You are very inspiring to people as well. This is that confidence that you innately have. Even if you don't feel this way right now, pile 5, I promise you will get there one of these days. Because sometimes it takes a strong sense of purpose to find the confidence you need, to find your voice, to find your power, to find whatever it is that you need to carry you forward with that purpose. We also have, oh my goodness, this cute little lamb. So this is the 4 of Swords reversed, and I love seeing it reversed because this is a card of action when it's reversed. Upright, it means that somebody here is meditating, contemplating, you know, they're thinking of things. Reversed, it's like, I have thought enough. I have dreamed of certain things enough. I've seen, for some of you, maybe you've even seen the future. It's like, I'm going to do something about it. This is that hypno sleep card. Reverse, it's like, again, waking up. You are here to wake up certain situations, or to wake up the people around you, to help them, like, do something. Let me know what it is that you do, pile 5, because my goodness, it wouldn't surprise me if some of you are just, for example, stay-at-home parents who, again, you have such strong insights and such strong ideas and beliefs that you really affect the people around you. You would be a really good advisor. We have the World. Yeah. Humanitarian aspects is what I'm getting with this, but also you just want to see the world be a better place. And the 8 of Cups reversed. This is you not being afraid of your own emotions. You understanding that when you tap into how you feel, that when you tap into that which makes you feel human and alive, you actually get a lot more accomplished. Because reversed, it would be like avoidant nature. And maybe you used to be in a certain time in life here, pile 5, but a lot of you, you're not avoidant. You know how to face your fears. You know how to face the tricky situations that everybody else doesn't really want to deal with. I could easily see this being like a therapist who gets down and dirty, like, well, not down and dirty, but, you know, you get to the heart of the matter. You get to those really difficult conversations. Maybe you deal with, like, a very specific kind of client, like, because I know certain therapists or certain psychologists, they have their specialties. I think your specialty, you go for the ones that are more difficult because you know that they need it the most. That would make a lot of sense here. And again, if you're an energy healer, you probably do some of the deepest energy healing work out there. And I know that's intense. I know that's difficult to be able to hold the space for people to come out with that kind of energy. It's really difficult. And I respect that because I've been there. Back of the deck, we have Ace of Wands. This is a karmic lesson because I do want a karmic lesson to come through that you're meant to overcome as part of your life purpose. Ace of Wands is interesting. Let me see what this is meant to be. Because I mean, you could see this as control. Ace of Wands. Wands energy in general makes me think of like the need to control or power. Maybe some of you did like spell work back in your day and you just didn't like it, so now you're reverting to something else, like something different. Because I'm kind of getting the monkey's paw, or like the story of the monkey's paw, like be careful what you wish for, or maybe you tried to quote, I'm not saying that some of you put spells on people, maybe you did. Back in the day, this is past energy, this is what I'm getting, or maybe if you're doing this now, this could just be, again, a karmic lesson you're learning here. We have the Three of Swords, or sorry, the Three of Wands, again with the Wands energy. We have the Three of Cups, okay. A lot of you have lost friends in trying to tell them their future. Oh, okay. You are somebody who you're not afraid of telling the truth, and you've lost people this way. If people aren't ready for the truth and you tell it, they'll easily like fall away, or you will alienate them, which, you know, I understand as somebody who reads tarot and can see through things sometimes. Like, I can understand this because the Page of Wands is coming off here as somebody who is not afraid of like being the first to do something. Just such strong, fearless energy in this pile. And if you don't feel this way right now, pile 5, this could be the way you come off to people, or this could be something you embody. I do see this more like later in life. Like I'm seeing late 30s for sure, maybe 40s. For a lot of you, this is going to be later in life. You might start seeing the beginnings of this in your late 20s to early 30s though. But this energy feels very mature. Or like the kind of energy where you just couldn't care anymore what people think about you, so you're going to go ahead and say it and do it. And typically that energy doesn't really come until, you know, you're in your, at least your late 20s. The first Saturn return for sure. You have to have at least experienced the first Saturn return. We also have, ooh, Knight of Cups reversed. I was kind of getting that. For some of you, it was part of your life, and I'm sorry to say this, but it was part of your life purpose to kind of deal with some really toxic relationships or friendships or even people, because in dealing with them, you valued yourself more. You valued your time, your space, your energy. You also learned to see through a lot of BS, especially if you had people who lied to you a lot that you dated. You were meant to learn how to see through that. Unfortunately, it meant that it also shattered your trust for some time, but you believed in the trust in yourself, and you learned to rebuild that relationship with yourself before you were able to truly rebuild that relationship with anybody else. Because I do see you loving again. I do see you finding the people that are meant for you. And like I said, whoever it is that you end up with will be very, very successful and powerful, partly because of you. I mean, it could be that they also are this when you meet them, but you become the missing ingredient, or you become like their you become something that enforces that success. Like, let's say you find a partner who is already very successful, maybe they make a lot of money, or they just have like a high-ranking job. They will not fully believe it until they meet you, because you bring something to them. You reflect back a part of themselves that reminds them that this is what they are. And it could be vice versa as well. Maybe you yourself are very successful and you're very strong, but you will find a partner who reinforces this within you. Honestly, I see a very equal, balanced relationship, whatever you are meant to have, because for a lot of you, you are meant to have this person in your life. But for a lot of you, you had to, like, I see you just losing friends, people, relationships, partners, because again, they were not up to they did not match your energy. And how could they? Somebody like you does not come along very often. And this isn't to inflate your ego. This isn't even meant to hype you up. This is just the person you are, pile 5. You're very strong and intense. Your energy is different from people. And because of this, you know, not everybody will be for you, and not everybody can understand you. But the people who do, or at least the people who try to, they do value and respect you here. Beautiful energy here. Very beautiful. My God, this is this is so interesting and so different from the past piles as well. So pile 5, let's go ahead and move on to your closing advice, to see anything else that is meant to be part of your life purpose. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Spirit of Animals deck. I think this is also my shortest pile, but like, honestly, what else can I say, pile 5? You're such a badass and straight to the point. But of course, if you would like to know more about other life purposes you may have, go check out other piles, because they've all been different. We have Elephant Greatness. Love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. So maybe some of you do have ties to Africa or parts of Africa, because I think this is an African elephant. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know there's another type of elephant like the Asian elephant, but they're smaller. So take that if it resonates. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, of course, or that could just be like an important part of the world in your heart. But love is your strength. Your strength is love. Like your love, because I kept talking about power and intensity about you, but what I forget to bring up is this is how you show your love. Your love is very intense. Your love is very strong, and you can't help but give that to other people in your own way. Absolutely love this energy, pile 5. And greatness to you is a habit. Success is a habit. It's not an outcome. It's not, end game. For you, it's a habit of you and your people, of you and your family, whoever it is that you surround yourself with. It could also be friends, of course. Let's get another card. We have, better than you can imagine. And like I said, I think some of you are meant to be, parents in this life, because there's a uterus here. Of course, that's optional. You don't have to. But for those of you who already have kids, I think it's just confirmation. And for those of you who want to have them, again, confirmation. But if you don't have them, just ignore that. But regardless, I think this life is meant to be way better than you can imagine. And you may not see it now because, again, 39, something about your late 30s is going to be important, or maybe early 40s, or 30s in general. I think that's when life starts looking up for you, pile 5. I know it did for me. My 30s are my favorite. I love my 30s. You're not getting old at 30, I promise. Let's get another one. We have you are more, 30. There we go, 30. 30 to 39. You are more. You are so much more than you realize. And you mean so much more to the people around you than you realize. You bring them so much power you're not even aware. Let's get your last card, the affirmators. For my pile 5. Okay, you get 2 affirmators. We have warmth. I focus on warmth and let it guide all my interactions. No matter how others behave, I choose to respond warmly. With warmth, I can melt any icy exterior. I can soften any hard feelings. I can microwave any pizza. Today, I adopt the saying, kill him with kindness, and turn myself into a warm and loving serial killer. So, for a lot of you, even though this intensity, I kept describing a power and intensity, what it actually feels like is a warmth to a lot of people. This is so beautiful. Yeah, people see you as very warm and very loving. We also have support. These 2 came out in another pile. I want to say they came out together. Maybe they just like to be together. But regardless, we have support. I look at the vast network of support in my life, and I'm reminded of what a superpower it gives me. At any moment, I can call on an army of top-notch people who want the best for me, which means I'm basically invincible. Take that loneliness. Run for the hills, boredom. I'm sorry, what did you say to me? Pervasive, all-consuming anxiety? Damn right you didn't. So for a lot of you, you are meant to have a strong support system. Because you support people so much, you may not even realize how many people support you in every way, shape, and form. So you will never be alone in this lifetime. I feel like you will have all the people that you need just when you need them. And they're going to be more than willing to help you out in whatever it is that you need, pile 5. Beautiful reading, beautiful life purpose, and all my respect to you, pile 5. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care.